Well, yeah. Well, let's just start all over. How about that? Because TikTok endorses debate and then calls you a hate speech or a bullier when you debate topics. Anyway, welcome back, welcome in, welcome to the kingdom of the ape, the apostate ape. That's me. If you are watching this on YouTube, please consider subscribing, liking, or subscribing to the channel, liking the video, hit that notification bell, all that good stuff. I'm saying it like that because I already said it once today and TikTok screwed me, so I have to say it over again right now. Don't forget, our best friend here, Dr. Josh, sells amazing literary works that are geared toward giving the average person like me scholarly knowledge to combat apologetics. That's Dr. Joshua Bowen. He has books on Amazon and Audible, depending on whatever you like. Also, don't forget about the Rocket City Reason Conference going down, Huntsville, Alabama, this October 23rd, 24th, 25th. You can get your tickets for that at rocketcityreason.com. Well, we had a decent live going a moment ago. A Muslim feller came up, and I got a violation. Christian violation. So, had to do a reset already, of course. It's funny how I can never make it 10 minutes into a damn live now without getting a violation. It seems like they just rain them on me no matter what I'm saying, or no matter what is being said. They seem to occur with a high frequency. So anyway, now we are back once again. We had a whole lot of people in the comments last time. Nobody that would actually come up except a strange Hindi fella who kept asking me if I was an ape, and a Muslim fella. So, not saying too much for today so far. But anyway, we have popped a fresh reset. We are now ready for the first actual guest of the day, I suppose. I said that with some tinnitus. If that's even a word. I do not know. What I do know is we're ready. Christians or Hebrew Israelites only. If you are capable of an actual conversation, please come on up and have a conversation with us about one of these topics on the board. I do not demand anyone respect me or any such weird thing. All I demand is that you are capable of having a conversation like a grown-ass adult. I mean, say what you want, just don't say it while I'm talking. And answer some damn questions here and there. That would be great. So, maybe we're there. Let's see. Mugs over there.
You.
Hey, what's up, man? Are you over 18?
Yeah.
Cool. Are you one of the Christians or BHS?
Yeah, I'm Christian.
Cool, man. So which one of these facts up here do you disagree with today?
God is unjust, condones slavery. I think that's the part that was kind of sticking out to me. Like, what is
you don't
your...
think God condones slavery?
What do you mean condones? What do you mean by condones?
The definition of condones means to allow or permit immoral behavior to continue.
Yeah. I don't think that makes him unjust.
Well, I'm not saying that's unjust has got a comma behind it. Condone slavery is just one of the subjects. So I mean, if you already know he condones slavery, we can do unjust if you will.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think him allowing things to happen makes him bad or whatever you're claiming it is. It's like, what are your options?
He's allowing slavery, so that's pretty bad, right?
But he's allowing free will, and we decide what we do with it, and if we do evil with it.
Allowing slavery as an institution, though. God don't like something, he forbids it. He doesn't allow things in his laws that aren't good.
No,
Not, I mean, good for him anyway.
he's allowing free will, and what you do with it, he can be unhappy with. He's not happy with people doing slavery, but
Whoa,
he's
where
giving
does
you
it say
free will.
that? Where does it say God isn't happy with slavery? Because from what I
Well,
can
that
show
would
you
fall
verses that
under
say the
evil.
opposite.
That would fall under evil. And the Bible
Not
has
according to
a
God,
lot
it's
of
not
that.
evil. If you think slavery is evil, you ought to be really angry with God for allowing it. Because God says that all his laws are just, all his laws are good and right in his sight. So if God allows slavery, it's good and right in his sight. He doesn't say it's evil, ever.
But the point still being, though, that it's not condoning slavery. It's allowing free will.
It is, by definition. It's allowing immoral. Do you think slavery is immoral?
Yeah, obviously. But it's allowing people to do what they want, and some people are going to abuse that free will and be evil with it. What's the other
Well,
option? We don't have free
you
will, and
realize
everything that
that
you
the
do is
definition
decided.
of condoning is allowing or permitting immoral
Right.
behavior to
So then
continue. So if
the
slavery is
alternative.
immoral and God is allowing or permitting it, he is definitely condoning it.
So then the alternative is that we don't have free will, and everything that you do is decided for you. I feel like that seems more like slavery than allowing people
How
to
come
do
God
good.
doesn't forbid schmurder then? What if I just want to free will schmurder people? God don't seem to like that. How come he forbid that?
How come he forbid? You think he says that, or you
Yeah.
don't think he says that?
No, God forbids schmurder, unjustified
Yeah,
killing, right?
yeah, that falls under the evil that we're talking about.
Well, what if I want to free will schmurder somebody? Why does he get to forbid my free will when I want to schmurder somebody, but not on a slave?
You can kill somebody. It's not saying that he is happy with that.
Yeah, but if you do it, you're breaking God's law. If I want to own a slave,
Yeah.
it's not against the law. God's perfectly fine with it. It's permitted by law.
What makes you say that he's allowing you to, or that he's okay with you doing that?
Because the law says he's okay with it.
What law?
The laws concerning slavery. He institutionalizes slavery, chattel slavery, same as the antebellum South. So I mean, if you think slavery's evil, then you ought to be pretty upset with this God for allowing this evil, because the Bible doesn't forbid slavery a single time. In fact, it endorses it, especially in times of war.
Is this Old Testament, New Testament?
Yeah, it's Old Testament.
Well, people usually say that that's not a good argument because that's how he used to be versus what he is now. We go off the
Okay,
New
so where does
Testament.
God say slavery's bad now?
No, isn't the Old Testament usually where he had more wrath, like flooding and whatnot, and New Testament was from the beginning of the New Testament onward, which is into today. Old Testament is a
Well, there's no floods, in the New Testament, but it definitely doesn't forbid slavery in the New Testament.
and it encourages it in the New Testament.
Yeah, I think it does. Certainly doesn't condemn it. Jesus says, "Slaves, obey your earthly masters, even the cruel ones, and that's how you serve God." He even tells a cute ass little story in Luke that uses a slave like as a comparison for people to God. It's pretty disgusting, in my opinion. Christians seem to have a different perspective on what's disgusting and what's not.
I'd have to see what you're reading. I don't know what specific parts
Anyway,
you're referring to, but
yeah, God says his laws are good, they're right, and they're just, and you will do them all the days you live on this earth. God's laws don't change and they don't go away. Not according to God, anyway. One of God's laws says, when a man sells his daughter as a slave, she shall not go out as the male slaves do. If she does not please her master, who designated for himself, then he shall let her be redeemed. He shall have no right to sell her to a foreign people, since he has dealt unfairly with her. So God's perfectly fine with you selling your daughter as a slave if you want to.
I see a lot of people in the comments saying this guy hasn't read the Bible. Yeah, I'm not saying like I'm a, you know, I'm not an expert on the Bible. I'm just kind of talking about it. This isn't to make you look
I mean, I
stupid.
got you, but it definitely condones slavery, chattel slavery.
I'd have to look into it, but I just have a hard time believing it, just because I don't think that.
I'll just read it to you. Maybe then you'll believe it. In Leviticus 25, verse 44, it says, "As for the male and female slaves whom you may have, it is from the nations around you that you may acquire male and female slaves. You may also acquire them from the aliens residing with you and from their families who are with you who have been born into your land, and they may be your property. You may keep them as a possession for your children after you, for them to inherit as property. These you may treat as slaves. But as for your fellow Israelites, no one shall rule over the other with harshness." So there you go. It's pretty clear, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I gotta look into that, but hello.
Hey, what's up, David? You there?
Yes, sir. How we doing?
Doing good, man. Are you over 18?
Yep, I'm over 18.
Are you one of the Christians or BHIs?
Christian.
Christian. Cool, man. So which one of these topics did you want to address here today?
Uh, I mean, ultimately, I disagree with all of it, but I would like to kind of piggyback on what the other dude was talking about, how God is supposedly unjust and condones slavery and commands human sacrifice.
Sure.
So, yeah, basically, I disagree with that argument. One that,
So you don't
okay, so I
you
will,
don't think God condones slavery?
in the Old Testament, he did, right?
No.
And that's kind of what he was saying. But the New Testament and the gospel of Jesus is pretty much the new law, because Jesus gave us a physical representation on how to live on this earth, and he basically taught us how to live our lives, whether we've been treated terribly, good, bad, whether we've been blessed out the get-go. And he's talked to rich men in the Bible, how he's changed their lives too. Like, so I disagree that that it is now in the Second Testament, or not the second, the New Testament. I disagree.
Okay, well, in the New Testament, where did new laws come in and say slavery is condemned?
I don't believe it specifically said that, but just like I said, that Jesus is the new law, and he is that physical representation on how.
Sure. Can you show me a new law that says slavery is no longer okay?
Can you repeat that, please?
Can you show us the new law you're referring to that says slavery is no longer okay in this new covenant here?
No, I cannot. But what I'm trying to get to is that
Yeah, it don't exist, man.
Jesus is the representation on how to live. Did Jesus own slaves? No, he did not. Did Jesus lust? No, he did not. He lived a perfect life, and that is our goal, is to try to live a perfect life. Although we may
I
never
don't
be
think he
able
lived a
to.
perfect life. I think he was a liar, but
And that's your opinion. And what do you believe he lied
it's
about?
not an opinion. It's a fact. He lies about stuff.
What do you believe he lied about?
He lies about prophecies being about him. He lied about being a Messiah. He lied about when the end of the world was going to come, or the end of days, the new age, or whatever. He lied
Okay.
about all that.
Can you give me examples as to how he lied?
Yeah, so he says in John chapter 12 that the prophecy, I say that loosely here, from Isaiah 53 was about him. He's saying he's fulfilling a prophecy because the people wouldn't accept him. It says they didn't believe him. This was to fulfill the word spoken by the prophet Isaiah. Lord, who has believed our message, and to whom has the arm of the Lord been revealed? So Jesus is saying that's a prophecy about him. But if you just read Isaiah, it tells you exactly who the arm of the Lord is being revealed to. And it's the exact opposite. It's not even, it's saying the whole world is going to see that salvation, not that they won't believe it. So where in the world did Jesus get that from?
The whole world is going to see that salvation. You don't think the whole world has already seen the salvation?
Do you hear what Jesus is saying about that?
Yeah, but it's just my
It says,
question.
after Jesus said this, he departed and hid from them. Although he had performed many signs in their presence, they did not believe him. This was to fulfill what has been spoken through the prophet Isaiah. Lord, who has believed our message, and to whom has the arm of the Lord been revealed? So Jesus is saying that's fulfilling a prophecy about people seeing and not believing in him. But Isaiah 53 and 52 says the exact opposite. It
Okay.
says they are going to see it and they're going to believe it.
Okay, I'll be honest with you. I'm not capable of answering that question.
Well, here, I'll show you real quick. It's from Isaiah 53, and it asks a rhetorical question right at the beginning in verse 1.
Okay.
It says, who has believed what we have heard, and to whom has the arm of the Lord been revealed? Right?
Correct.
So right before the servant song starts in chapter 52, it tells you who the arm of the Lord has been revealed to. It says, the Lord has bared his holy arm before the eyes of all nations, and all the ends of the earth shall see the salvation of our God. Depart, depart, go out from there. This is saying all the nations are going to see and believe this. So Jesus is saying the exact opposite in John. He's saying it's a prophecy about seeing and not believing. So, like, what happened there? Didn't Jesus just read who the arm of the Lord?
I believe he's talking about both, and this is just my interpretation. I'm not heavy spoken about the book of Isaiah or, but he's talking about, because remember when Timothy asked and said that I'll believe it when I see it with his nails in his hands, because he did not believe that Jesus was alive.
Yeah.
And then Jesus came back to him, eventually met back with him, and then talked about how he had no faith. He only wanted to see it for himself to prove it.
Yeah, but Thomas did believe it, right?
Yeah, he did, but that is basically talking about the doubt that he had in his mind. And maybe, and like I said, just interpretation, maybe that verse is also talking about any doubt within your mind. You know what I mean? You kind of get what I'm saying there?
Well, I mean, maybe. Let's read the prophecy again and see if that lines up. It says, after Jesus said this, he departed and hid from them. Although he had performed many signs in their presence, they did not believe him. So this is about not believing him. They saw it, they don't believe him. And it says, this was to fulfill what had been spoken through the prophet Isaiah. To whom has the arm of the Lord been revealed? But if you just read Isaiah, it tells you to whom the arm of the Lord is being revealed. To the eyes of all the nations. That's the whole point, is that they do believe it in Isaiah. Not that they don't believe it. So Jesus made a major, major boo-boo there by saying Isaiah is about seeing and not believing, because it's not.
Okay, so this was I'm gonna after this I'm gonna go back and read it. This was Isaiah 53, and then you also pulled the verse off of John what? John 5.
Oh, that's from. Well, Jesus says that in John chapter 12. Yeah.
Yeah, John chapter 12. Okay. Yeah.
See, most Christians say that Isaiah 53 is a prophecy about crucifixion, but Jesus never says that. Jesus says this is a prophecy about people seeing him doing stuff and not believing him, which is absolutely ridiculous if you just read Isaiah, because it's about the opposite, like I'm saying. This is just one of Jesus's many lies, because he also tells the disciples.
I wouldn't call it a lie, but
it's certainly not true.
I'd study more deeply into it, try to build context, because how many times have you? Why?
I know exactly what, dude. I read Isaiah all the time. I know exactly what Isaiah is about, and it has nothing to do with people seeing this servant and not believing in him. It's the exact opposite. They see it and they do believe it, and that's what forms the eternal covenant in Isaiah. That's how I know Jesus is lying here.
I still disagree with that, because
why? Give me a reason.
Because sorry, my head's going blank. I don't normally discuss and do debates on TikTok, but I just thought I should today.
That's cool, man.
And I appreciate you being respectful, and likewise, but yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like, why would I think this is a prophecy about seeing and not believing, when we can just read Isaiah, and the literal verse that he's asking is being answered in Isaiah himself, and it's saying all the nations are gonna see this and believe it.
Right, and I guess my only interpretation of that is all the nations seeing and believing it is people from who have witnessed, because it was Rome. So I mean, he was killed in Rome. So maybe.
Well, at the time Isaiah was written, Rome had barely thought about being a superpower at this point. This is 600 years before Jesus.
Oh, yeah, you're correct. You're correct. Old Testament.
Yeah, Rome was there at the time, but they hadn't even like they're still basically a backwater city at this point. They hadn't even really began to expand on the Italy on the peninsula or whatever you want to call it.
So when did the word actually spread then? Because it had to have been after the gospel, right? Or after his death, right?
No, this spread after Isaiah. This is referring to the Babylonian exile.
The
That's what
Babylon.
Isaiah is actually about. That's how I know Jesus don't know what he's talking about, because if you read Isaiah, it's clearly referring to the nation of Israel being exiles in Babylon. Like just for example, like let's go back to 52 for a second.
Okay.
It says, "The Lord has bared his holy arm before the eyes of all nations, and all the ends of the earth shall see the salvation of our God. Depart, depart, go out from there, touch no unclean thing, go out from the midst of it, and purify yourselves, you who carry the vessels of the Lord. For you shall not go out in haste, and you shall not go out in flight. For the Lord your God, and the God of Israel, will be your rear guard." So they're departing and saying, "Depart, depart, go out from there," right?
Right.
They're departing Babylon. That's the land of the enemy, the land of the wicked. That's
Right.
where he made his grave with the rich and the wicked or whatever. But that's literally what it's talking about. This was 600 years before Jesus. And right after chapter 53, the suffering servant song finishes and it begins the eternal covenant. God makes an eternal covenant with Israel the day they leave Babylon.
So maybe
In
so
chapter
maybe they're
54.
referring to Israel then. In the holy
It's
city.
referring to Israel.
Yeah, no, well,
Yeah.
I'm talking about uh Isaiah 53.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's about the return to Zion. But 53 is about the nations who are watching this happen. It's
Correct.
describing what they are seeing. They're seeing this marred and unwanted and afflicted individual be redeemed by their God. And they're going to be so shocked by the sight of this that everyone's going to come to Yahweh because of this redemption and return to Zion in Isaiah here. But that's what makes Jesus saying this is about they did not believe him was to fulfill a prophecy is just patently absurd if you just on a quick read of Isaiah. It's
Okay.
the exact opposite, like I said.
I'm gonna go join. I'll join back later. I'm gonna build some context and kind of develop a better argument because I kind of came in here blindly, but I appreciate you being respectful.
Yeah, no problem. Well, before you go, do you got something you were a little more versed on that did I guide you away from something you were stronger equipped for here?
Honestly, Jesus is love, brother. That's what I'm pretty strong on. I felt it.
Jesus is love.
Yes, yes, and I've been
That's
changed.
it.
Yeah. Or no, there's so much more, brother. I mean, ultimately, I've become more spiritually uh responsible too. Or I don't understand why these comments are being so rude. I'm
Don't pay attention to the comments, man. They're all
Yeah,
psychos,
hey
all
man,
of
I'm
them.
just trying to learn. This is a dude on the completely other side of the aisle than I am, and we're talking, having a good conversation.
Yeah, I think you've been cool, man. Don't worry about the. They come at me too. I get it every morning. Don't worry.
Oh, all right.
They all get their piece in.
Yeah, right. Okay. But yeah, brother, I don't know. I was just in here. I saw some things that I probably could have threw some of my uh uh intelligence at as far as what I've developed in the faith. And I don't know. We've talked so much that I've kind of forgotten the points that the dude brought up beforehand, which I really would have liked to remember and say, because I do believe that they
Oh, we
were
was talking
good.
about slavery before. God condoning slavery.
Uh, so yeah, God, the God is unjust part. I believe
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's for a reason. I really do. And out the get
You
go,
believe he's unjust for a reason, or that he's not unjust?
well, okay. So the reason that I believe he's unjust is because he suppressed his own power. You know, because he has the power to he created us, right? He suppressed his own power and gave us free will. That, you know how powerful that is? You know how like uncontrolling you have to be able to create a whole species, know the outcome of them, and still give them the opportunity to choose you or a different place. That's my perspective on it.
Well, man, if you agree he's unjust, then yeah, I mean he's unjust. Yeah. I just don't understand why you would worship an unjust God. Because
Well,
I mean, he agreed to be the standard of justice, like right off the bat in
yeah,
Genesis. Like
and
Abraham holds him to a
but
standard. He
anyone
says,
who
"Certainly, you, the ruler of all the universe, will do what is right and just." Right?
correct,
And
but
God's like, "Yeah,
anyone
of
who
course I will."
wants that standard, though, because remember, the devil's still on this earth too. The devil's still real. He made
Yeah, that's God's henchman.
henchmen. You think henchmen?
Yeah, well, I know henchmen.
I maybe in a sense, but they are complete and total opposites. You know what I mean? Like good and evil.
Not
There
really.
has to be an evil for a good. That is why. I mean, maybe you can
Well,
put them
what
in that
about when
henchman.
God does the evil, though? Like, say if you go through the entire Old Testament, you can mark maybe 10 people, maybe Job's family, as people that Satan directly had an involvement in their unaliving, right?
Correct.
But
Yeah.
I can read you one chapter where God unalives 70,000 people himself. He does the deed
Oh
himself.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
70,000 people.
it needed to
Yeah.
happen,
So who's
brother.
worse
Just
by
like
the
the flood.
standards of death?
Just like the flood, brother. I mean, all the sin in this world, and you could probably argue it now. I mean, a lot of Christians would probably agree with me, although we would probably die, that another flood should happen if it, were possible. But the better thing is that the second coming of Jesus Christ is coming soon. So, but
That's what
yes,
I think Jesus lied about, buddy.
you do. Okay, so I would like to talk about this a little bit too. Uh, the prophecies actually being fulfilled right now. The
What prophecy?
wars, rumors of wars, false peace.
That
Uh,
there's been wars and rumors of war literally since Jesus was
okay,
nailed to
hear,
the stick.
hear me out though. Has there ever been since a false hope of peace than there is now? The board of peace, supposedly peace.
That's a perception, man. Like,
That
what?
that's perception, but you are called to discern, and that is your own perspective. That's perception. That's what God calls you to do, but also do it with the likings of the Bible. You know what I mean?
Well,
So
Jesus says in the
perception is
Bible
a
when
lot
those
too.
days are going to happen. You know that, right?
Say again.
You know Jesus tells you when those days are going to happen, right?
The end of times.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He says when that's coming.
yeah. I believe it's happening now, brother.
Well, why would you believe that opposed to when Jesus said it was going to happen?
Okay, can you read when he says it's going to happen? Because I believe in the book of Revelation too, and it probably is in the other books, but I'm not too familiar with that part, so I would probably need it.
Yeah, Revelation would have been a past event too, if you look at it that way. But in Matthew 24, Jesus straight up tells it. The disciples come to him in private and they say, Jesus, tell us what will be the signs of the end of the age specifically, right? And he says, this temple is going to be thrown down, not one stone left upon another. So Jesus says, during the great tribulation, this temple is going to be destroyed and people are going to flee the mountains from Judea and stuff, right? And then, right after that, this is what verse 29 says in Matthew 24. It says, immediately after the suffering of those days, the sun will be darkened and the moon will not get its light. The stars will fall from heaven and the powers of earth, or the powers of heaven will be shaken. Then the sign of the Son of Man will appear in heaven, then all the tribes of the earth will mourn when they see the coming of the Son of Man on the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. And he will send out his angels with a loud trumpet call, and they will gather his elect from the four winds, from one end of the earth to the other. Truly I tell you, this generation will not pass away before all these things have taken place. So Jesus is saying the temple is going to be destroyed, and then immediately after the suffering of those days is when the coming of the Son of the Man is supposed to happen. So according to Jesus, the coming of the Son of Man should have happened immediately after the temple was destroyed.
I'd have to read more about that as well. But what I know from what I've learned is that the first temple was destroyed, and then eventually it'll be rebuilt, and that may be before the tribulation. After, I'm not entirely sure. I cannot pinpoint that. No one can, but
Well, you can with Jesus' words. It says immediately
with his words, but we
after
won't
the
know. We
suffering
won't
of
know the
those
day or
days.
time. We won't know the day or time.
Yeah, you don't have to. You know the generation. It says immediately after the suffering of those days. Like Jesus describes the temple being destroyed. He says not one stone is going to be left standing on another. which technically you can still see it today. There is still stones standing on another, so Jesus got that wrong too. But it straight up says it in verse 29. It says, immediately after the suffering of those days. So, I mean, how can you say this is anything supposed to be any time but immediately after the tribulation? Straight up telling you.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. That's another thing. You pulled that out of what? I'm writing this down.
That's Matthew 24. So, like in Matthew chapter 10, he tells the disciples when he sends them out that they will not have finished going through the towns of Israel before they see the coming of the Son of Man. And he tells them in Matthew 16 that there are some standing here who will not taste death before they see the coming of the Son of Man. And then here in Matthew 24, he's saying this generation will not pass away before you see the coming of the Son of Man. And then he says the coming of the Son of Man is going to happen immediately after the tribulation, and that's the destruction of the temple. So, I mean, according to Jesus, this should have definitely happened around 1900 years ago or so. 1930 years, roughly, somewhere in there. Almost 30. Almost 2,000 years, actually.
I mean, the way you brought it up makes sense, but I still stand on where I'm at right now. But I'm gonna go take a look at these verses that you have brought up, and I'm gonna gather some more intel on that.
Cool, man.
Hey, man, I really appreciate this respectful discussion. There needs to be a lot more people like you, so I appreciate you, man.
I'm telling you, buddy. Have a good one, man.
Yep. God bless.
Back at you, homie. What is the world is going on with my guest box? Oh shit! Christ, is it Christ Like Radio? You there?
Sir, good morning.
Hey, what's up, buddy?
Not much. How you doing?
Doing good. You were over 18 and a Christian, wasn't you?
Excuse me?
Why isn't this bringing it back? Sorry, you're over 18 and you're a Christian?
Yeah.
Cool, man. So which one of the topics did you want to address today?
I'm looking at the false prophet and maybe slavery after, but I want to ask firstly, who is a false prophet?
Jesus.
No, how is a false prophet defined? The
He
definition.
makes a prophecy that doesn't come true. According to Deuteronomy 18, that's a false prophet.
He makes a prophecy that does not come through?
Yeah. He also lies and says other prophecies are about him when they're clearly not. Yeah, I was just reading one that don't come true. He says the coming of the Son of Man was going to happen immediately after the destruction of the temple. Are you taking a
Jesus
piss?
said that?
Are you taking a piss?
Oh, no. Sorry, the microphone is very sensitive. Yeah, he said he's gonna come after the temple was destroyed.
Yeah, immediately.
That's when he said he's gonna rebuild this temple in 3 days.
Yeah.
Well, he was
He
talking
says
about
in
his
verse
body.
29 of Matthew 24, it describes the temple being destroyed. And then in verse 29, he says, immediately after the suffering of those days, the sun will be darkened and the moon will not give its light. The stars will fall from heaven and the powers of heaven will be shaken. So he's saying the coming of the Son of Man is going to happen right after the destruction of the temple, the tribulation.
Yeah, but clearly, he's talking about something else because he's not even left
Clearly,
Earth.
he's not. He
No, but
says it. He says, then the sign of the Son of Man will appear in heaven, then all the tribes of the earth will mourn, and they will see the Son of Man coming on the clouds of heaven with great power and glory. He's definitely talking about the coming of the Son of Man.
Right, but remember he was talking about his body being built back in 3 days, so he can't be talking about him coming back when he haven't even left Earth as yet.
This isn't about that. This is years after his death.
You
Like
mean years
50
after?
years, actually.
Yeah, but Christ wasn't here years after.
Yeah, no, this is a prophecy he made in Matthew 24. It says persecutions foretold. That's a prophecy. It's foretelling a prophecy. It says they will hand you over to be tortured and put on alignment, and you will be hated by all nations because of my name. Then many will fall away. They will betray one another and hate one another, and many false prophets will arise and lead many astray because of the increase of lawlessness. The love of many will grow cold, but the one who endures to the end will be saved. And this is the good news of the kingdom will be proclaimed throughout the world as a testimony to all the nations. And then the end will come. Do you know what the end is?
But if you go through what you just read, won't you agree that the love of many have waxed cold? Would you agree?
Yeah.
Would you
What I
agree
don't
that
agree with is the end came right after that.
no, we're still going through many things. You said many
No,
would
we're
be
not.
hated.
The temple
Many,
got destroyed 2,000 years ago, man.
yeah, but what I'm saying that he couldn't be talking about that when he haven't left Earth as yet. That's the point that I'm
What?
making.
He had left Earth. This was 50 years after he died, man.
Remember Matt? You remember?
But he says it. He says the temple is going to be destroyed. You got to flee Judea and run to the mountains.
Yeah,
Pray
that
it's
he's
not in the winter or on the Sabbath.
right. He's talking about things to come.
Yeah, this did come after his death. He foretold this beforehand, right?
Yeah, but everything that is said they haven't fulfilled as yet.
Was the temple destroyed?
He was talking about his body, not the actual
He was
temple.
talking about the temple. He says, not one stone will be left standing on another. It's going to be destroyed. Flee from Judea because Jerusalem is going to be destroyed. This ought to be pretty clear.
Yeah, but but Jerusalem is not destroyed.
It was destroyed in 70 AD.
Yeah, but how could it be destroyed and still stand? Jerusalem is still
It don't still stand. It's gone. The temple is gone, my man. There's nothing but a little like base of it left. There's like the Wailing Wall, and that's it. And some of the foundation that's underground. But
Yeah, but as I said, he's clearly talking about
what
something
in the
else.
world is?
And when you
Hey, I'm
mentioned
sorry. One second, buddy. Hey, MacLuster, if you're still there, request back up, man. I don't know why it's not bringing you up. What in the fuck is going on here? Did it work? Okay, there he is that time.
That was weird.
Hold on a second. I don't know why it's doing that. Like, it wasn't bringing Petrina up either. Anyway, sorry, Crosslight. Petrina, walk him through that real quick, like you said there.
Hey, Ape, what's going on?
Hello.
So,
another day in paradise here.
what's this guy's name? Christ something?
yeah, you can.
Christ-like
The
radio.
radio.
Yeah, there we go. This is
So,
a radio show host.
so let me walk you through this real quick. Matthew 24. So if you notice, there's particular words this author put in there to show you this isn't talking about Jesus's body. So it says that Jesus left the temple and was walking away when his disciples came to him to call his attention to its buildings. The author put that in there specifically to show you they were talking about the building, not his body. So this is not Jesus's body that's going to be destroyed and raised again in 3 days. This is talking about the building that they just walked away from.
Yeah, buildings that are no longer there. That Jesus
Right?
said was no longer going to be there.
Yeah, but if Jesus said right after, you said the scripture is saying right
That's a
after.
different verse. That's talking about something else. This is a different context in this one. The context of this one is the actual physical temple that they just walked away from. And then they turned around and pointed at its building. And he said, do you see all these things? Not one stone here will be left upon another. Every one will be thrown down. Saying this temple is going to be destroyed.
The point I'm making is that there's a series of things that Jesus is talking about. He didn't speak about just one thing. There are many things that supposed to be fulfilled, and then will the end come. So if the temple is destroyed, that's one. There are many things left to happen. So we
Yeah,
can't say that, okay, um, it's incorrect when everything hasn't been fulfilled as yet.
well, then you call Jesus a liar because in Luke 21:20 through 22, it says, when he told the disciples, when you see the army surround Jerusalem, so they were going to see this happen, right? When you see the army surround Jerusalem, get out of the city and flee to the mountains, for this is the day of vengeance, that all things written would be fulfilled. So if you say, no, there's still some things to be done, you call Jesus a liar.
You just said all things. You
All
just said
things
all
written would
Yeah.
be fulfilled. Correct.
exactly.
And all the
All.
things he had just said, the destruction of the temple, fleeing to the mountains from Judea, that happened in 70 AD. That's
Yeah,
undeniable.
the army surrounded Jerusalem in 70 AD.
Yeah, but it went on to say men would be heartless, basically. You
Yeah,
would
they
be
were.
hated. You would
They
be
were.
hated.
Who
You
would
would
be
be hated.
hated? Who would be hated? The disciples. He says, watch out that no one deceives you, disciples, for many will come in my name saying, I'm the Messiah. And you will hear of wars and rumors of wars. But don't be alarmed. All these things must take place. He was telling them they would see all this. They would experience it. Not us today.
There was never
Yeah, he
there was
said this
I there was never
generation to
account.
them, not that generation later.
There was never an account of someone in the disciples' time who was claiming to be Jesus. I've never heard that.
What?
I've
What are
never
you
heard that.
talking about? John says, little children, it is the last hour. As you have heard, an antichrist is coming. Now many antichrists have appeared. That is how we know we are in the last hour. There were many people claiming up to be false prophets and messiahs and antichrists.
But
Just because you haven't experienced it and you didn't go through it, you think it didn't happen. But evidently it
It clearly
happened.
did.
yeah, but
Yeah.
it's more prevalent. What the point I'm making is basically more prevalent than if it was. It's more prevalent
I actually
now.
got a coin here that prove it. Look, this is Emperor Vespasian. Well, I don't know if you can see that. That's Emperor Vespasian. This coin wouldn't even exist if he wouldn't have destroyed Jerusalem. This is Roman denarius with Vespasian's face on it, right? You know when Vespasian became the emperor of Rome?
No, no.
Like literally during the siege of Jerusalem, his son Titus finished it. And that's why he had power and made these coins. It's because Jerusalem was destroyed. The temple.
Yeah, this entire stuff that you're reading is about the Roman Jewish War in 70 AD. That's all this is about. He told the daughters of Jerusalem as he was carrying his cross, he said, daughters of Jerusalem, don't weep for me. Weep for yourselves and for your children, for you will see the wrath to come. He warned the rich men to stop storing up treasures because they were in the last days. It was about them and their last days, the last days of this covenant that they were in. They were
So
getting
it's not.
ready to transfer from one system over to a new system once the temple fell.
So it's not talking about our time.
No, has nothing to
It's
do with
talking
us.
about
You need
their
to
generation.
understand what audience relevance and culture context is. When you're reading this stuff, pay attention to the pronouns that are used in the text, the us, the we, the I. It was talking, these are personal letters, by the way, that you're reading. Corinthians was a personal letter written to the people in Corinth. Timothy was a personal letter written to Timothy. You're reading personal letters and including yourself into these letters. Even Revelation was 7 letters to 7 churches in Asia Minor.
Yeah, but the letters were for the church.
No, the
So
letters
we
were
talk,
for specific people in a specific time. Would you come to my mailbox and take out a personal letter that was written to me that had specific instructions in there for me and erase my name and say, no, this was written to me instead?
remember, the church is the body of Christ. So if I'm living in England or I'm living in South Africa and I'm a Christian, it's still the body of Christ. So
So
you're talking about the church.
The body of Christ was the people in that time. Jesus only came for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. He came to redeem those who had the promised eternal inheritance and who had transgressed under the first covenant. He was there to redeem them. Do you know what redemption means? Redemption means you were with someone in the beginning, you went away, and you were coming back. Redemption. You were never with God. You were never with Yahweh in the desert having a covenant with him and you fell away and Jesus came to redeem you back. That wasn't you. That was Israel.
But,
Yeah, and another question for
yeah,
you:
but
who actually rose Jesus from the dead? Who do you think that was?
who rose him from the dead?
Yeah, who brought Jesus back to life?
He did. He said he lay his body down and bring it back up again.
Jesus brought Jesus back to life.
Yep.
Makes sense. Based. Hey, have y'all ever thought about this? Maybe it was just the disciples who went and got Jesus and brought him back to life because they had the power to raise the dead. So maybe they just went back and rose Jesus. Why not?
Yeah,
Doesn't that make sense?
could have been
No,
Peter.
that,
Peter probably
that
walked
was,
by and his shadow just did it.
you see,
Yeah. I mean, Jesus tells them in chapter 10, he says, as you go, proclaim the good news. The kingdom of heaven is near. Cure the sick, raise the dead, cleanse those with a skin disease, cast out demons. Like, they were capable of raising people from the dead. So,
yeah,
like, maybe they just
but
brought Jesus back.
clearly that wasn't the case because
How
after
do
he
you
was
know?
put in after he was put in a tomb, they definitely rolled a stone, block it, and had soldiers guarding the tomb. So clearly, it wasn't the disciples.
Well, when Mary showed up, Jesus' body was already gone. So they just came and got him before then.
Yeah, but
Like, it's weird to say Jesus brought himself back from the dead. Like, if he can bring him back himself back from the dead, he should have never died.
What
That's just
happened to
weird.
the soldiers?
yeah, but what was the purpose?
Yeah, for real. They were bad guards.
What happened to the soldiers? Right, they're out there supposedly guarding this tomb, and what the rock behind them rolls away, and Jesus walks out, and they didn't notice.
It's a miracle.
Any thoughts on that?
The Bible says that an angel rolled a stone away. So I don't know what
Right.
happened
So,
between
like I
that.
said, the stone behind them rolled away. These
No,
guys are
the Bible says
supposedly.
an angel. An angel rolled a stone away.
It doesn't matter who rolled it away. It rolled away. It
Yeah, it
rolled away,
matters.
or it was rolled away. That's irrelevant. The point is, this giant stone was rolled away, and they're supposed to be standing there guarding this tomb. And then what? Jesus just sauntered off, and they didn't say anything,
Sauntered.
or
What a great word.
it's fun.
Yeah, well, remember I don't know. You don't know what happened between the angel coming there and rolling that stone away.
How
So
do you know it wasn't the disciples? They clearly had the powers to bring people back to life. Doesn't it make sense that they just went and got Jesus when they heard he had been
so
unalived by the Romans?
so would it be impossible for Jesus to raise himself?
Well, I mean, it just doesn't make sense. I mean, Lazarus was dead longer than Jesus was.
Yep.
Jesus raised him. They were running around raising people from the dead. Like,
Old stinky Lazarus.
you. Yeah, they said he probably smells bad. Jesus was like, nah. He sauntered on over and brought Lazarus back. Yeah.
So
That's what we're saying. Wouldn't it make more sense to say that, like, Peter just went, like, Peter brings Tabitha back from the dead? He's clearly capable of this. Wouldn't it make the most sense that,
yeah. Well, you see,
Jesus got unalive and then they just went and brought him back to life?
right. So you see, that's that's the point. It would be more comfortable for us to say the disciples rose him from the dead. So
Yeah.
so to cancel the thought that he is God. So it would be more comfortable to say that, but that's not the case.
Why did he deny being God?
He never denied being God.
Sure
He
he
said,
did.
I and my Father are one.
No, that just, but okay. This is so bad. He also said the same thing about his followers, right? He wanted them to be one as he and the Father were one. So did he want his followers all to be the same person?
Also, it says a man should leave his mother and father and cleave to his wife, and those two shall become one. So does that mean I'm my husband and my husband is me?
You're talking about a fleshly operation than a divine one. You
What
and
is
your
the
husband come
difference
in one. That's a
between when he
fleshly.
said
That's a no. That's
what
a
is
fleshly union.
what is the difference between him being one with the Father and him praying that his father or his followers are one, just like you and I are one, right? That was his prayer to God, was that I pray for them to be one as you and I are one. So how can there be a difference when he says he wants it in the same way?
Yeah, it's clearly a difference because we
How,
are
well
not.
then
We are
did he
not.
not understand that? Do you have a better understanding of it than Jesus?
Because we are not Jesus.
Do you have a better understanding of it than Jesus?
Let me ask you a question. If I say I want you at
What you're
my,
what you're saying is Jesus didn't know what he was talking about.
I'm not saying that.
Right, so when Jesus said he wants his followers to be one as he and the Father are one, how are you saying that's a different type of
So
relationship?
right. So where did he say that?
Now I gotta look it up. I think it's in John. Yeah, John 17. He says, what's verse 20 say? I ask not only on behalf of these, but also on behalf of those who believe in me through their word, that they may all be one. As you, Father, are in me, and I am in you, they may also be in us, so that the world may believe that you have sent me. The glory that you have given to me, I have given them, so they may be one, as we are one.
Right. So exactly. So that they may be one as we are one.
Yeah, me
That's
and
not
you,
saying that's
Father. He's talking to God.
right. But that's different when he's saying that I and my Father are one. Whatever I do, whatever I do, the Father do.
How
That's a
is that
totally different.
different than saying, as we are one?
No, he's that's a different
What is he talking about then when he says, as we are one?
well from my understanding that he's speaking more about we doing the will of the Father.
Right. Because that's what it actually means, right? When Jesus says the Father and I are one, he's saying we have the same will and mission, right? We are unified in this. He's not saying I am God, right? When the Pharisees accused him of being God, he says, the whole thing of like, I say you are gods, right? And then he says, if I tell you I'm the Son of God, right? Is the Son of God God?
The
Does
Son of
God go
God.
to God? He also says, I go to my God and to your God.
Oh yeah.
So Jesus clearly has a God.
And the
Yeah, but
Father is greater than I
yeah, but
am. I do nothing
how,
without his authority.
how do you
Yeah, good
explain
one.
John 1? In the beginning was the
It's just
Word,
talking
and the
about
Word was
Genesis,
God,
man.
and the Word
That's
was
what
with
happened in
God.
Genesis. That was creation.
Yeah, the word.
In the beginning, God spoke everything into existence. The Word is God. The Word was with God because God was speaking
No,
everything into it.
no, no,
That's the
no. And
very
the Word
beginning.
and the Word become flesh. You're forgetting that.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
that was
God
verse
spoke
14
Adam
or
and
something.
Eve into
No, no, no,
existence. Yeah.
no, no,
The
no,
Word became
no,
flesh, literally.
no, no,
He spoke it
no,
into existence.
no.
Yeah. Yeah.
When it comes to man, he did not
Wait, what
say.
happened in
Hold up,
Genesis? He
no, hold
spoke
up,
them into
hold up. No, no, no,
existence.
no, no. When it came to making man, he went down and formed man from the dirt. He didn't say
Not in Genesis
just let
1.
there be trees. When it came to trees, he said let there be vegetation. He said, "Let the seeds
Genesis 2.
multiply."
You're
He said,
confusing
"Let there
you're
be
confusing the
beasts."
chapters.
No, no,
How do
no,
you
no,
know
no.
he said any of that? How do you know who was there in this beginning of creation to be able to write this down and record what God said?
The
You're
Holy
talking.
Spirit.
You're talking about God. We're not talking about man. So if God
But
wanted someone to,
you're confusing the chapters.
That's what they always say.
Right? Chapter
no, no,
1
no,
is
no,
all
no,
the
no, I'm not
hang
confusing the
on,
chapter.
you are. Because chapter 1 is all the let there be this, let there be that, right?
Exactly.
Chapter 2, no, not exactly, because you're wrong. Chapter 2 is where God made man out of clay, and just like he did, he formed all the animals out of the earth, right?
No, no, no,
So,
no.
so out of the ground, the Lord God formed every animal of the field and every bird of the air. Now, you're saying that's wrong?
So
I
out
just
of
read it to you off of the screen in front of me. These are two different creation stories. You understand that, right? These are come from two different authors. These are not in the same author. And they're different creation stories. That's why it makes a lot more sense if you take chapters 2, 3, and 4 and take them out. The connection between chapter 1 and chapter 5 makes a lot more sense, right? This story was worked into the other one, right?
yeah, but what we
But
were doing, we were
no,
making
because
the distinction.
you said God said, "Let there be light, let there be, uh, animals, let there be." But He also said, "Let us make humans." Right? It doesn't say that He formed them out of clay. That comes later. That's in the other creation story, right?
Yeah,
Just
but
like
we
He
were
did with
making
it, just,
two.
but He did the exact same thing with the animals. So you can't say that humans are special if He did the exact same thing with the animals.
No, he didn't do the exact same thing.
It says,
Remember
"So
the.
out of
Remember when it came to man, he said he
God
breathed
formed,
the breath of life
so out of
within
the ground."
man.
And you're saying animals didn't have the breath of life? You're saying
No,
animals didn't. You're saying animals
that's
didn't have the ruach.
that's not what I'm saying. But it was
What's
a
the difference?
distinction because he went and it said there that he blew the breath of life within man and then man became a living soul. That's totally different because he didn't say that for the animals.
He did.
He
It
blew
says it
man and he
later in
blew
chapter
animals. Yeah,
7, right?
yeah, he
It
blew the
says
man and the animals. Yeah.
yeah. It says in chapter 7 that everything that has the breath of life in it will be destroyed.
I don't think you understand what I'm saying.
No, I think
I'm
you
not
don't
saying
understand.
animals do breathe oxygen,
Do they have the ruach?
but they do not
Yeah.
have the
Do
breath of life. Do you know
do
what the
do
breath of
they?
life is?
Yeah, it's the ruach.
And according to Ecclesiastes, you're going to the same place as the animals anyway, so
Do you know?
they're all the
Do you?
same. You have no
Sorry.
advantage. No, you're.
So do you understand that that's what the ruach is in Hebrew? It's the breath of life.
Yeah, that's what I'm alluding to.
Great. So when God did that, right, and He breathed into the man, right? So let me just find this word and I'll cross-reference it.
And Elgato, we're about to get to you in just a second, buddy. Hang tight there for another moment or two.
Yeah, Genesis 7:22. Where is that? So the same word used in when it talks about in chapter 2 when it talks about He breathed the breath of life into man, it says and in so and all flesh. I hate the fucking King James. Let me change this. It's such garbage. Okay. And all flesh died that moved upon the earth, the birds, the cattle, the beast, and all swarming creatures that swarm upon the earth, and every man, everything on the dry land in whose nostrils was the breath of life died.
Amen.
Animals had the breath of life too. Used this exact same word that's in chapter 2 when it talks about Adam.
Okay.
That was just after he blew me. Well, Christ-like, thanks for coming up again. We're going to move on to Goddo here, though.
Yeah, I wanted to touch slavery, but I'll maybe come back. Thanks.
Oh boy.
Yeah, that's fine. Let us talk to him, and then if you're still around, come back.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, buddy. All right, Goddo, are you there, and are you over 18? Thanks, Gato. Hey, what's up, man?
All right.
So which one of these you want to talk about, buddy?
Any of them is fine.
Any of them? Which one you feel the strongest about?
Whichever one that you feel the strongest about, we can discuss.
Okay. How about God commanding human sacrifice?
Okay.
All right. Do you know what a harem is?
Tell us.
Well, I'm asking you.
Go ahead, explain it.
You could just say no.
Do you know what harem is?
I'm listening to you.
You could just say no.
I don't.
You
I
could
choose
answer the
not to
actual
say yes or
question,
no.
that
I
would be
choose
great.
to listen to what he says. Can't force me to say yes or no. I can listen though.
So do you know?
You
what
can
it is?
either answer the question or you can get off the panel, man. This is a debate.
The
So-
arrogance is so funny. Like, just put your little ego aside.
So
and
guided
just
speech,
answer
I have
No
to answer
shit.
the way you tell me to answer.
I'm just asking you if you know what the fuck it is, dude. Like, what is the big deal here?
Like,
I'm
we all
asking
know-
you to
we
tell
all know
us.
it's no, and there's nothing
I
shameful.
will tell you as soon as
So
you
go
tell
ahead,
me.
just tell
Why
us.
would I tell you something you already know what it is?
Why do I have to tell you what I know or not, sir?
Because
if
the
you
way you
already know it, I would
respond-
like to not waste the time.
I'm not
Like,
giving
what
you
the
any
fuck?
Yes.
ammunition. Just speak what you have to say.
The way you respond will show the type of conversation that the host will have with you.
Reveal
pretty
to me
clear
what it
already.
says. I don't have to tell you if I already know it.
That would be what a
Do you know it
revelation
or
is.
not? We're not moving on until you answer the damn question. You can either get off the panel, you can drop yourself
Right.
back.
So
or
your
say yes or
argument
no.
doesn't work if I don't go along.
If you're,
That's
if
how you know you're lying.
I'm asking you if you know what something is or not.
How is
dude.
that
What is
relevant
wrong
to
with
your
you?
argument?
If you
Because-
already know it, it can't. If
How
you
is
already
it
know
relevant
it,
to your argument,
if
sir?
you already
what the
know
fuck
it,
is wrong with
Right.
these
You see how
motherfuckers?
your traps don't
If
work?
you
Someone
already
knows how to
know it-
answer?
It's not a trap. It's
It
asking
is.
you if you know what something is or
Why?
not.
But how
Do
is
you
it
know what
relevant?
it is
Explain
or
to us
not?
how me knowing what
if you already know it, it can't be revealed to you. You understand
you
that?
defeated this easily.
Do you understand that? That if you already know it, it can't
Are
be
you
revealed to you?
defeated this
Do
easily?
you understand that basic concept? That if you
Listen to what
already
you're
know
saying.
something, if you already
Answer
know
how I
something,
say it, or where
if
we
you
can't
already
talk.
know something, it cannot be revealed to you, dum
Satan,
dum.
is this the best that you have?
Dum
You
dum.
can't state
You're
your
crashing.
argument, sir.
You literally can't answer
God,
a yes
is
or no
this the best
question.
that you have?
Right,
You
right.
think
State your
you
argument,
think you're
man.
cooking up here.
Go
You
ahead
can't-
and
you
tell
can't
us. Tell
answer
us what
yes or
you
no
have to say.
question.
I don't have to tell you what I know and what I don't know.
Like everybody knows
Okay,
that
well,
you
drop
don't
yourself
know it.
off the panel if you don't want to have the conversation. Drop yourself
If
back.
you know what it is, what is it?
When Satan tried
Yeah,
to
get
tempt
out
Why
of
are
here.
you
Jesus,
Yeah,
so
get out of here. We'll
ill-equipped?
bring the
did
last
Jesus
guy back who was
let
actually
Satan
capable of
string
a
him along,
conversation.
or did he
Why
say
are
get
you
away
why are
from
you
me?
so ill-equipped at this?
Listen to what I'm saying.
Like, why are you so unprepared
When Satan
intellectually?
tried
Listen
to
to what
tempt
we're
Jesus
saying.
in the same way, did Jesus
Listen to what
answer
we're saying.
pridefully
You know
and
what a
go
harem
along,
is.
or did Jesus
Do you know what a
say,
harem
"Get
is?
away from me"?
You know
Satan
what a
tried to
harem
tempt
is.
him. I thought it was the devil that tried to tempt him.
Who
Which
said
one
let
was it?
your
So
let your
listen, I
yeses be
don't have
yeses
to
and your
tell
no's
you
be
what I
no's?
know or not, sir. If your argument is valid, your words will stand on their own
Do you know what
without me.
harem is or not?
Who said
Do you
let
know what
Right,
your
harem
yeses
is or
be
not?
yeses and your no's be no's?
Right. So he can't. He has no argument.
Who said
It
that?
Do you
falls
know what
apart.
a harem is or
Dude,
not?
you're
It
so
falls
bad
apart.
at this.
Why
You're
do you have
so
to
bad
know
at
what I
this.
know, sir?
Do you know what harem is or not?
So he doesn't
Why
waste
do you
time
have to know if I know
so
that?
he
How is it
doesn't waste
relevant to
time
your argument?
explaining it to you,
Alright.
Dingleberry.
Oh, shit, like I've already said that a bunch of times.
So
I
I'm
don't
teaching
know.
them that your argument only works if
You're
they
not.
go along.
You're literally not teaching
I
anybody.
haven't made an argument.
You're
I've asked
making
you
it
a
right
question
now.
that
You're
you
saying
refused to
go
answer.
along with
I ain't
what
made an
I'm
argument.
saying.
I asked you if you knew what something means
Sure,
or not,
and I'm telling you, I don't
proceeded
have to
cry
reveal it
about
to you. So that
Imagine
means you have no
crashing out.
argument.
Imagine crashing
I
out
don't
because
need
you
you to
don't know a
reveal it
word.
to
my
me. I
gosh.
need you
Why
to
can't you
reveal a
just?
yes
Why
or
can't
no.
you just state your argument, sir?
Why can't you just answer a simple
Because I
fucking
choose
question?
not to.
Well, then get off the
Imagine
panel.
crashing
Right.
out
So
because you
your
don't know
argument
a
is
word.
not. You have
Get
no
off
argument.
the panel.
You
Get
have
no
off
argument.
the panel.
Fragile little ego.
You have no argument.
Get off
You're
the
such
panel.
a
The
frail
person
little
doesn't allow
bastard.
you to walk them through
Get
your
off the
debate.
panel. Get
Then
off the
you
panel.
have no debate.
Get off the panel.
Why do you have to
Get
walk
off
me
the
through your
panel.
debate, sir? That's not
Get
free
off the fucking panel, you damned idiot!
I'm
Like,
just
what in the world is going on
All
here?
right, you're done. You're done talking, Godo.
Right.
No shit.
Like you're done talking, so you could just
You
leave.
can't even answer a simple fucking yes or no. Can't even get anywhere in the conversation with this man. Like, what in the world?
Like
Was
imagine.
his name Gatto or Dodo?
It's Godo now.
Like,
Imagine losing your shit
Gato.
over a yes or no question because you're so insecure that you can't just say you don't know something.
This is pathetic.
That's
even
crazy.
For pathetic here. Like, good lord.
Fragile little man boys.
Anyway, Christian Like Radio, if you want to come back up and ask about slavery, you can do that if you're still there. We'll get somebody who's capable of an actual conversation in here over those damn children. Yes, I do have an argument. It would have been great if you would have actually answered a simple fucking question, then we could have just got to it. It's that simple, man. But you refused. All right. Christ-like, welcome back. What do you got on slavery, buddy?
Yeah, thanks for bringing me back.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah,
You're actually capable of conversation, unlike some of the other losers on here. Go ahead, though.
Yeah, if you don't know something, you don't know. But my problem with slavery in the Bible, I don't know if you might see it like that. From my readings of what take place, I'm looking at it from a economical situation, because if you buy slaves, and which was normal for that time, even when you look at Abraham, when God gave Abraham the commandment, he said, those men in your kindred, when he was talking about circumcising, he said, those men in your kindred, those in your camp, those that you bought with money. So I'm reading that and I'm seeing that it's normal for you to,
So
acquire
is this
slaves.
your argument? Slavery was normal in the
It was
Bible?
written by men. I mean, what do you like? You're stepping outside of the Bible here.
No,
Does,
that's
does,
what
so who conforms to who? Does man conform to God or does God conform to man?
No, I'm talking about what was normal.
Right. So
In
does
that time,
God
because remember there are
conform?
things-
So does God conform to what man sees as normal, or does man conform to what God wants?
No, there's certain things that God allow for
Right.
the
So
time.
God conforms to man. Okay.
No,
Not to
God doesn't
mention,
conform
God
to
says
man.
all his
Sure he
laws are
does.
forever, all the days you live on the earth. This isn't temporary laws he was given.
No, as I said, there were some things that was allowed. Okay, for instance, Abraham had several wives. Jacob, Solomon, but they were men of God.
Yeah, God said
They-
you could have multiple wives.
Yeah, he didn't have a problem with that.
God said to David, I would have given you more wives if you wanted. I don't understand
but-
that. What argument are you making?
No, but if you're using that argument, when Jesus said that you should have one wife, then what is happening there?
When did Jesus say you should have one wife? When he referenced
you mean?
Genesis? When he referenced
No,
Genesis 2?
no, not Genesis, and even Paul's writings when he
Not
said
Paul.
bishops should be.
Not Paul. We're talking about Jesus.
Yeah, but Paul is writing about Jesus. So
Paul
that's
said you shouldn't get married at all if you can help it.
No, Paul said
And Jesus wasn't married.
if you want to be a minister, you should be a husband of one wife. You see.
Well, okay, that's if you want to be a minister, not if you want multiple wives. Anyway, this is what God says in Deuteronomy. He says, be careful to obey all these words that I command you so that it may go well with you and your children after you forever, because you will be doing what is good and right in the sight of the Lord your God. So according to God, all these laws that he's given are forever, and they are what's doing good and right in his sight. So according to this, if God gives a law about slavery, then it's good and right in his sight, and you should do it forever.
I don't think that is what it's actually saying, because
Okay, here I'll read it again. It says, "Be careful to obey all these words that I command you, so that it may go well with you and your children after you forever, because you will be doing what is good and right in the sight of the Lord your God." You don't think God said that?
Well, what you reading from Deuteronomy, you said?
Yeah, Deuteronomy 12, verse 28.
Right, so you're talking about the laws that was handed down to the
Yeah,
children
it's
of
the same
Israel.
laws about slavery in Leviticus and Exodus and Deuteronomy.
And to Abraham.
Yeah, but that's why I say
Yeah.
it's that's why I said that it was something that was accepted and it was an economical
Yeah, it's
That's
God.
because God allowed
situation.
it.
God conforming
So
to man.
it wasn't something to say that it's something that would have continued forever because it's not
God
happening. Matter of
said
fact,
Right.
forever,
Yeah, he
all the
said
days you live on the
always.
earth. Yeah, forever. That's pretty specific. You and your children after you forever.
yeah, I don't because there are persons who are there persons sacrificing lambs and blood of bulls today.
No, there's not. There's also not a temple, and there's also not Levitic priests making sacrifices for all time. There's not a throne of David uh, continually inhabiting the throne of David. Like all that stopped. That means these prophecies failed. Good point.
So that's the point then, that it was just for a time.
Yeah, it's all nonsense. Yeah,
Yeah,
if
it
you want to
wasn't
make that
supposed to
argument,
be.
we can agree all of a sudden.
It wasn't supposed to be just for a time, but it didn't last. It's a failed prophecy.
Not to mention, God Himself says if this stuff ever stops happening, then it's over for Israel forever. You don't get to come back from these covenants.
Okay,
That's tough.
all right.
I mean, are you under
It
the
says it
impression
when the
that
new covenant's formed in Jeremiah. It says, "If this fixed order were to ever cease from my presence, says the Lord, then also the offspring of Israel will cease to be a nation before me forever." So, I mean, this stuff's all pretty clear.
are you under the impression that Jesus condemned slavery?
The Bible condemns slavery.
You said he never did?
I don't
Did
I don't I can't remember Jesus making a statement on slavery.
Oh, he did.
They made statements on
Yeah.
slavery. They
He
never
he
forbid
used
it,
him in
though.
his parables.
Yeah.
He said
You
you're
know, so,
supposed to view yourself as a slave.
It's got some cute ass little stories to tell.
yeah, but in what context?
Oh, he's telling his disciples what they should expect, or how they should expect to be treated by God, and he used the framework of how they would treat their slave and how they would expect what they would expect from their slave. And he says, if your slave comes in from working in the field, and you tell them, you wouldn't say to them, go and make your supper and then feed me, right? You would, of course, you wouldn't say that. You would say, make my supper and then you may, eat and drink. And do you thank them? Of course not, for they're just doing what they were supposed to have done, right? So he's drawing then a parallel to your relationship with God and saying, you don't expect thanks from God. You're a worthless slave. You're doing only what you ought to have done. All right, that's Luke 17.
Hey, I got to head off to work. Thanks for having me up, though.
No problem. No problem. Always a pleasure.
All right, you guys keep tapping the screen, pushing ape out. It's a good live this morning. See you guys later.
Yeah. Thank you, Patrina. Have a good one. Don't work too hard today.
Thank you. Thanks for bringing me up. We'll talk later.
Well, you're
Oh,
all
are you
done?
done?
Yeah.
All right.
That's weird.
Well,
It's not showing me the queue. I'm hitting the button to see the queue, and it's bringing up my menu. It's acting weird today.
no, it was being weird for me.
Voice rings. That's new layout. I guess they're trying to put some new layout features in, but it's not. It's
Oh, yeah. I
not
have no
responding
idea.
to the right touch because I'm literally trying to see who's in the queue, and it brings up my personal options. like microphone, camera.
Yeah, I don't know what's.
Oh, I guess it's under managed guests now, so I gotta hit 2 buttons. Yuck.
What a waste of time, man. Let me get back over. Oh. Well, it sucks we didn't get to the harem because I got a whole lot of awesome stuff from
Guy pleaded
Dr.
the
Josh
fifth.
over here about that.
The guy pleaded the fifth.
Oh, he's requesting back up. Should we give him another chance?
I mean, if you want to hear him just yap and cry, it's your
I'll
life.
tell you what,
It's your
Gatto,
life.
I'm going to let you up, and you can either answer the question or I'm just going to drop you back down again. So we'll give you one more chance. So if you actually want to have the conversation, we want to talk to you. But you're going to have to actually engage in the conversation. So let's try it one more time. So Gatto, do you know what harem is or not?
I believe it refers to divine judgment, but I'm going to oblige and say no. Please enlighten me.
Man, I'm sure it went easy if you'd have just said that the first time. All right. Harem is a biblical term referring to the irrevocable dedication of property or persons to God, often involving total destruction in warfare. Right?
I don't have the literature in front of my face. I'm taking your word for it. Yes.
Well,
If that's what, if that, I don't disagree. Go ahead.
Okay, well, that's devoting humans to God. That's human sacrifice. And God commands this many, many times in the Old Testament. So God is literally commanding human sacrifice. Same as he did with Jesus.
Can you show me one instance of this to give me an example?
Actually, I can show you a whole bunch of instances. One of the most famous is 1 Samuel chapter 3, or I'm sorry, 1 Samuel 15. The destruction of the Amalekites is one of the examples where it uses harem in Hebrew, which means utter destruction, utter annihilation.
So if I'm correct, doesn't harem pertain to judgment, not sacrifice, in the same way that a pagan or a heathen sacrifices to Molech or another false god? God is not saying that's the same. It's judgment, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, usually God ordering a judgment on somebody, so you could sort of call it that, but the actual harem means the dedication of literally everything in utter destruction to God. So when God orders this, and it involves humans, actually when you translate harem into Latin, I think it's like devios or something like that. It literally means human sacrifice. So they're dedicating all these humans to God through harem.
So because I don't have the literature in front of my face, I hear what you're saying, but if you're trying to convince me that God sacrificed the Amalekites, then I think the Bible explains it was divine judgment and not ritual sacrifice, the way that you're trying to portray.
Well, here, we'll read a little more on it then to further clarify. So it says, nothing that a person's own, nothing, this is Leviticus 27, it's describing this. It says, nothing that a person's own that has been devoted to destruction for the Lord. That's harem. It says, be it human or animal or inherited landholding may be sold or redeemed. Every devoted thing is most holy to the Lord. No human beings who have been devoted to destruction can be ransomed. They shall be put to unalignment. So that means the second God deems them harem, they have to die. That's humans dying. That means human sacrifice.
I agree with what you're saying, but I think you're missing the context of their devotion to God, which is the judgment, because he's righteous. So that means if you do something wrong, then he's going to repay you for it in judgment. So yes, I agree with you that God commands human sacrifice in the form of judgment. So there is times in the Bible, for example, when I forgot his name. I don't have my Bible in front of me. When he stole and the entire his entire family was consumed. I haven't read that story in a
that's
long time.
Judges 7, yeah.
Right. So I'm just trying to. So you could call that harem, but it was not a ritual sacrifice. It was a judgment.
Yeah, that's
Well,
not
we're
the
not
same.
saying it's not a judgment. There's a reason God are ordering these harims. And like in 1 Samuel 15, it tells you the reason. It says for what they did in opposing the Israelites when they came up out of Egypt, right?
Right. So I agree with
Yeah.
your prompt. Yes, in that regard, yes, God does judge people.
With human sacrifice. That's what a harim, that's the judgment he's ordering, is they be
Yes.
sacrificed to him.
Yes, God will execute you.
Oh, okay. Well, sounds like we agree.
Yeah. So Romans 13 explains that the system that we're living under now in your city, the judicial system, it's God who set that in place. So we know that there's a law, and we know that criminals are arrested and then charged, and then they're prosecuted and sometimes executed.
Yeah, but this is when you destroy everything around them, like in Deuteronomy 13, where it says if you hear of someone enticing other people to other gods, you have to utterly destroy that town, take everything they have, pile it up in one big pile, and burn it as an offering to God.
Yes.
That's
So
the same thing.
so
It's
during
utter destruction.
yeah,
Is
so
what qualifies as what I'm talking about.
so God will definitely judge people, and at times entire civilizations, in regard to the Old Testament, because certain things are cursed. So there's a spiritual side to it, and if everything in a town is cursed with devils, yeah, sometimes it will get judged.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Yeah,
Sounds like we agree. God commands human sacrifice.
in the form of judgment, sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
Your
That's what I'm
government,
talking
your
about.
government
He
does the same,
commanded human sacrifice to himself.
right. Your
But I
government
mean,
does
he
the
also
same
commanded
thing.
the firstborn to
Hold
be
on.
sacrificed.
Your government does the same thing with the gas chamber and
No,
with the electric chair.
no, that's not the same
No.
thing.
No, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah,
The gas chamber.
because the
What
court
gas chamber?
systems swear on the Holy Bible, sir.
What
So
what
yes,
baby?
they
No, they
carry
No,
don't.
out
they
those
You don't
judgments
have to.
themselves. Hold
That's
on,
not
listen
true.
to what I'm
You
saying.
don't. You don't have to swear on a Bible. You don't have to do that.
Well, the court does do that as a general
The
standard, sir.
court
One,
swears on a Bible.
yeah, the court,
What
the
court
judicial
swears
system
on a
that you
Bible?
live under uses
What
the
what
Holy
court
Bible,
s-
so they
what court
actually
swears
carry
on a
out those
Bible?
judgments.
What court swears on a Bible?
So Mac, have you never seen a judicial court ask the person to hold up their right hand and
Yeah, and you
solemnly
don't
swear
have
to
to
tell the
swear on
truth
a
and the whole
Bible.
truth and have a holy Bible on
And you
one
don't
in one
have to
hand?
swear on a
So
Bible. You can
Mac,
affirm.
I
I'm telling you.
understand
I'm
you
telling you
yourself
don't
don't have to, but the court system uses it. So that means these court systems
It's
are
not a
carrying out
requirement.
this human sacrifice
It's not a
that you're
requirement.
talking
It's
about,
also
sir.
not a human sacrifice.
So is it a sacrifice like your friend says, or is it not?
No,
Because
it's
your
not.
court
It's
system
literally
does the same
not.
thing, Mac.
It's
You mean
not.
like we agreed on
So
in the
hear
Bible?
what I'm
That
saying,
God
right?
does?
It's not a
Hear what I'm saying.
sacrifice.
My
It's
friend, you
punishment.
just said that like.
I'm
Hold on,
being
you just
interrupted
said
by
that like
Mac,
your
which
friend is
always
saying like
happens.
it's in the Bible. Hold on, you and I just agreed on what's happening here.
Right. I just
And
don't
now
want to
you're
be
turning
interrupted.
that
Let me
into
know when
what
I
your
can speak.
friend says about the Bible.
Okay, so can I speak without being interrupted now? That
Try
would
to
be
make your
great.
If you
sense.
can address what I just said, because
No,
you just went
because
off
every
on a
time
tangent.
a Christian speaks the truth, that's a tactic of the devil to
You
stop them
didn't
and,
speak the
and
truth.
interrupt
We
them.
just
So
agreed on
So
something,
I
and then you
agree,
portrayed it
and I'm
as the
just trying
shit
to
your
not be
friend
interrupted
said.
now and reply. And Mac is having an issue with that.
You're so bad at this.
You see, Mac's having a
Your
problem with that.
crying has not
He was doing
gone
pretty good for a
unnoticed.
minute, and
Yeah.
then
Mac,
it
I just
spiraled
want to
out when he
speak
realized
freely.
he was agreeing that God commands human
Yeah.
sacrifice and made
Address
it about
address
America.
the death penalty is not human sacrifice.
Yeah, that's not utter destruction and devotion to God. That's a harem. That's human sacrifice being commanded on
So
a mass scale.
So, in the way that you are explaining human sacrifice, it is divine judgment. It is God executing people for transgressing against him. So, in the way that you're explaining it, I agree. And your judicial system
Okay.
agrees as well.
It doesn't.
Okay, well then we
It's
agree.
not the same
Don't
thing.
portray it back to me as shit your friend said, because that shit we just agreed on, not just shit I said.
Well,
Isn't it?
no, that was Mac confusing the situation, interrupting. And that's
No, you don't understand that the death penalty is not human sacrifice. Who are they being sacrificed to?
is there another
Who are they
topic
being
possibly?
sacrificed
Because I don't
to?
even want to talk to Mac. I can
I know
talk to you,
because
but
you're
Mac
so
is just
bad at this,
the
and I
third
understand.
person who
I
causes
understand.
the
We're saying
You're a
the
confusion.
same
fragile little
thing.
boy,
What does it matter?
and your ego is hurt. I get it.
Okay, Mac. What else do you want to talk about, sir?
I want to understand who they're being sacrificed to.
Who is being
People
sacrificed,
who
sir?
get the death penalty.
Do they swear on a holy Bible in court, sir?
Not necessarily.
You're lying. Everyone can Google it. You're lying,
I
sir.
literally
Yes.
just said
The court
not
system uses the Holy
necessarily.
Bible, sir. Max, stop it.
They don't have to swear on a Bible.
But that doesn't mean the court system doesn't use it, sir.
Yeah, but they
But
also
it doesn't
use
mean
they
they
also
do,
use the
buddy.
Quran. Then how's
let
that?
me explain
Court
something
system
to you,
also
Mac.
uses the
reason
Quran.
The court system uses a Bible is because it's the authority of God, sir. It's the harem you're talking about.
No, it's
That's
because
why
of,
they
it's
use
because of
The
tradition.
Bible,
Bible.
is haram.
It's because of
It's
tradition.
the word of God. It's the authority that gives them the power to execute people, sir.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does. Read Romans 13.
Our laws do that. Oh, because
Mac,
somebody
pull out
claimed
your
it
Bible.
is true.
Let's go to Romans 13.
Because somebody claimed it,
if
it's
you're
true.
speaking the truth.
Because somebody claimed it, it's true.
Let's go to Romans 13.
Because
Mac.
Paul the heretic
We don't have
claimed
to
it,
guess.
it's true.
We don't have to listen to you, Mac. We
I
can go to
don't
the scripture.
care that you think because the Bible says it, that means that it holds for the whole world.
Right. So you have your own opinion, but we have a Bible that
Hey, look,
explains it.
what this is crazy. Listen, I just Googled it. It says, no, American courts do not require witnesses or officials to swear on the Bible.
Uh-oh.
Yet the Holy Bible
ruh-roh.
is used in courts. So yes, you have your
No, American courts do not
binding.
require
You have the right
witnesses or
to call
officials
God a
to
liar,
swear
but it doesn't
on the
mean you're not
Bible.
going to be judged.
Okay.
Yet the court uses
Having a
them.
bad time
So
up here,
again,
man.
it doesn't
All right,
change. So
well,
hold on.
you got a
So
different
if you
topic
don't-
you
if you go
disagree
to court
with?
and you don't
Gotta-
swear, hold on. If you go to court and you don't swear in the Bible, can they still convict you?
Yes.
All right,
Yes,
then.
because
So you're
you
free
can- you
to
can
say no,
affirm.
but it doesn't mean that it's
You can-
binding.
perjury
The court
still
uses
holds.
the Bible,
It
sir.
doesn't mean
You
that
can
it
still get
does.
sworn in, not on a
Right,
Bible.
right. Last time I checked on the dollar, it says "In God We Trust," sir.
Yeah,
But
that was
anyway,
It's
we
that
can
was
illegal
move
put
on
to
to
there.
the
lie in
next.
court. That's
That was,
a
you know
law.
why
It
that
doesn't matter
you know
if
why
there's
that
a
was put on the
Bible
money.
involved.
I
You
don't
know
have
do you know
to argue
why?
with you. This
Do you
is
know
obvious.
why, Professor, that was put on the money and when? Do you know when and why it was put on the money?
I don't have to argue with you, Mac. It's obvious.
I know
With
you're
this one. We should
no,
just
you
move
don't
on.
have to because you can't.
We should just
You're-
move on, Mac.
You're terrible at this.
Yeah.
Okay, Mac. Right.
Yeah,
we should just move
let's
on.
move on. What since you agree with human sacrifice and you lost that point, what's the next one you disagree with?
What's your next strongest objection, sir?
How about God is unjust? You want to do that one?
God is unjust. Let's do it.
Yeah, okay. So would you say it's unjust to unalive somebody for looking in the wrong direction?
Can you reveal to us your definition of unjust, just to make sure we're speaking clearly to one another?
Yeah, punishments matching crimes and not punishing the innocent for the crimes of the guilty.
That would be just.
Right. So I believe God is just, not unjust.
Okay, so do you think punishments need to match crimes to be considered just?
Correct.
Okay, so is it justified to unalive somebody because they looked in the wrong direction?
Is it justified to unalive someone because they looked the wrong direction?
Yeah.
I think that's unjust if it's you or me.
But it's just when God does it for some reason.
Correct.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
you don't have an actual standard that you can hold God to judge if he's just or not?
No, because I can't create anything. I didn't put myself here. Neither did you. And his understanding supersedes my own by
It's just might makes right.
infinite amounts. I know it upsets you, doesn't it?
That's just might makes right. You don't actually have any morality.
Well, it just goes to show you that you have no actual standard that you've even held God to, so you're not even capable of judging for yourself if God is unjust or not.
Or
You
it
lack that
means there's
capability.
things about life
That means you're in a cult.
you
That means
you
you're in a
have that
cult.
have not been revealed to you yet, sir.
That's cult behavior, man.
Wait,
if you can't
has-
hold this God accountable to anything, then you're in a cult. You join the
Okay,
cult.
so let me ask you a question.
Has it been
Can I
revealed
ask you
to
a
you?
prostate,
No,
Mac?
no.
Please,
Has
can I
it
ask
been-
the prostate
no.
a question, Mac?
No. Has it, no.
Because this
you-
is what
you made a
happens.
claim.
The same
You
thing
made a claim.
happens.
Yeah.
You
This
made
is
a
just a
claim.
tactic.
I want to
Go ahead,
the
Mac.
claim.
You got the floor, sir.
Yeah. Is it? Have you received the understanding of why it would be good to unalive someone for looking in the wrong direction?
I'll repeat the question, Mac, please.
Have you received the understanding of why it would be good to unalive somebody for looking in the wrong direction?
Let's be more specific. Tell me the situation in the Bible you're talking about, Mac.
You want to tell him, I guess, Ape?
Yeah, that makes sense. Let's understand the subjection before we get
Lot's
an opinion,
Lot's
right?
wife.
Yeah,
Lot's wife.
yeah, I'll explain it to you. God unalives a woman for looking in the wrong direction.
Tell us the story so we can speak on it.
Do you not know the story? It's Lot's wife.
Oh. Oh my, you guys are something else. So thank you for explaining what you're talking about. Half the
You're
story. We get
welcome.
the other half now, ladies and gentlemen. The other half comes out. So
Yeah, the other half. God killed a woman for looking in the wrong direction.
so that's not why he unalived Lot's wife. So if we read the story, we know that they were warned not to look back. And so did Lot's wife look back?
Did
Yeah.
she look the wrong direction?
wasn't supposed
she
to.
So
did.
right. So if I tell you, hey, don't touch that that oven, that stove, it's gonna burn you if you touch it, apostate. And you touch the stove, right, and it burns you. You can't turn around and say, "Oh, God, you're wrong," or "You're wrong for letting the stove burn me, or for burning me with the stove."
Oh, that's a terrible analogy.
Well, I mean, but it's the truth, right?
No, the
If I
better
tell you
analogy
not to
is
go walk
don't
out
look
in
at
front
the
of a
stove.
train, and then you go walk out in front of a train, you can't turn around and blame me for getting hit by the train.
The analogy, but these are you're talking about natural consequences, but this is punishment, right? This is like
Listen.
saying God said don't, or somebody said don't go near the stove, and then you go near the stove, and then I take your hand and press it down on the stove.
So let me give you some understanding.
That's more analogous.
Hold on, Mac. I'm going to give you understanding, right? The Bible says that God is a what? Consuming fire. Let's just throw that out there, for example, right? And in the situation with Sodom and Gomorrah, fire was rained down from heaven. So the scriptures also say what? No one can see God, right? Lest they be consumed. So I'm not saying this is what happened, but there was clearly a divine reason why the flesh woman was told, do not look back at this fire coming down from heaven. And she's the one who looked back. So how can you bring accusation against God because she looked back? How do you know there's just not different fundamentals of the fire in heaven and what it does to flesh? So I think it's an error for you to say
Because I know what
God
it says. It
unalive
says God
people for
turned her
looking.
into a pillar of salt because she looked in the wrong direction.
Yeah, so I don't think that argument's going to hold up very well with him. I have to be honest with you.
Well, I know it don't hold up well for like zealots or anything, but I mean, y'all defend God no matter what because you have no actual standards. But here in the world of reality, we think it is evil to unalive someone for looking in the wrong direction. That is completely absurd. Like, do you even hear yourself? Do you think somebody really deserves to die because they looked in the wrong direction?
So again, I think you're confusing what actually happened. So I do not think it is just for someone to be unalived, literally for turning their neck and looking a certain direction. However,
is that literally what happened?
Hold on. No, what happened was God said,
it's not. Oh.
Do not look back, right? Because he's judging the city. And so those people were being destroyed, sir. And so she looked back at the fire that was destroying those people, and it also destroyed her. So no, that's not the same situation.
She wasn't destroyed by fire. She was turned into a pillar of salt.
Wait, I don't understand. Like,
so is that something that
so
you've
the
ever
fire
seen before?
can only destroy you if you.
Point.
The fire can only destroy you if you look at it.
Oh, he made a good point. Have you ever seen anyone turned into a pillar of salt ever?
Nope.
Right. So clearly this thing was divine and spiritual. Something was going on spiritual.
Yeah, clearly God was pissed off that she looked in the wrong direction, so he killed her. That's my point here.
Or there was a divine judgment that was going to do that to any human that looked at it.
Yeah.
That
doesn't change the argument.
That's what I'm saying.
Anyway,
somebody who looked in the wrong direction.
We're talking about looking at something.
Okay, well, we can agree to disagree. My position is God was justified because he told her, do not look back at it, and was judging, consuming a city with fire. So she disregarded what he said, and that's what happened to her. So.
Okay. So can you state, just for clarity, as a Christian, you think it was justified that God killed someone for looking the wrong direction?
I do not agree with your accusation. So I do not agree with what you're saying because I do not think God did something
what was her
unjust.
crime
I do not
again?
think that she was unalive.
What got her sentenced to death?
I think God's judgments and God's rules are sovereign and true and righteous. So I think exactly what happened was supposed to happen because he warned her.
Okay.
Again, if I tell you
So you
not to
think it was
jump off,
justified that God killed someone for looking in the wrong direction?
so if Mac tells you, "Hey, don't touch my car," right, or I'm going to sue you, and you go and touch Mac's car and he sues you, you can't turn around and say, "Mac, you're unjust for suing me, man. You're unjust," and that's what you're doing.
You think I would have a lawsuit that wouldn't get laughed out of court?
So we can agree to disagree.
swear on the
I
Bible?
think you're wrongly
Hey,
dividing
Mac,
the
do you
word.
swear on the Bible that he touched your car?
I think we can. Like I said, is there another subjection? We can agree to disagree on that one.
Yeah, well, I don't think we do disagree. I mean, you're just saying it's justified that he killed her for looking in the wrong direction. You're just going the wrong direction.
I'm saying that that's not what happened, and we all know that's not what happened. Because
It is what happened. She looked in the wrong direction, right? She looked at Sodom and Gomorrah.
After what?
Right?
After he said what?
After he said, don't look that direction.
After he said, don't look that way.
He didn't say it. Angels said it.
Right. The angels of the Lord warned her not to look back. So if you want to say that God's done something wrong, then something you'll have to discuss with him. But I think the common sense perspective says if we are warned not to do something and we do it anyway, and there's something that happens to us afterwards, we can't go back and say, "Oh, you're messed up for."
Yeah, but I mean, this is we're talking about looking at something, man. Like maybe say, "Hey, you just looked the wrong direction." Maybe a little slap on the wrist.
Have you ever seen Heavenly Fire, sir?
No.
Right. So we don't know what Heavenly Fire does to men who look at it, sir. There's a ton of different angles that we can play this thing. But you can't say God just, you know.
Okay, let's move on to another one then. So do you think a man deserves to die?
What's that?
How does fire destroy somebody next to somebody else, but only the person who looks at it?
The same way you can see life enter the womb at the time of conception. It's a divine thing, sir.
What?
Yeah, life is interesting, isn't it? There's a lot you don't know about.
Yeah. Humans
things genuinely need to make sense.
Yeah, it's called the zinc spark, but that's a whole different.
It's not an actual spark.
What is it then, sir?
That is an effect of the imaging. It's not a spark.
Apostate,
it's
man.
A chemical reaction.
Where did you get your buddy Mac from, man? Like, apostate's more honorable than you are, Mac.
What does that mean, more honorable?
But never mind. What's the next?
Am I wrong about it? Do you have some kind of resource that says it's an actual spark?
I think the word is.
Do you have anything to back up your bullshit claim, or are you just going to cry about me not being honorable?
You are overtly
not buying your bullshit.
Never mind.
I'm overtly not buying your bullshit.
Well, okay. What's the next subjection?
Sure.
What is subjection?
Do you think a man deserves to die because he?
What is this word subjection?
Mac has passed the point of decency. Like,
Mac is this
gone
word
beyond the point of.
What is this word?
That's what you did earlier. It's what I dropped you earlier. So
I haven't even called you a dickhole yet.
And now he's talking about something strange. You see what I'm saying? He's gone beyond.
So I get
that point of sound.
You understand how?
All right. We'll stop talking about dick holes. So now, do you believe that a man deserves to die because he jizzes on the floor and not in his brother's widow? Oh, we are still talking about dick holes.
Well, yeah. I mean, it is a story in the Bible, and
yeah.
So again, yes, I think that God's judgments and laws and statutes are correct. I actually have understanding about that, sir. Would you like to hear it?
That's interesting.
Yeah, I would like to understand why God kills people for jizzing on the floor.
So, as you know, the story of most men of God is they are born into darkness. So, like Paul, like all of the holy men of God, I once myself was in the darkness. And so I did this very thing that you speak of at one point in my life. And that night when I went to sleep, something very interesting happened. God showed me what I actually did. There were 3 little cute kittens about the size of my palm, and they were walking in a line, and they were kind of stumbling and cute and kind of goofy. You know, they were just learning to walk. And behind those 3 kittens was a almost microscopic kitten. It was just so very teeny compared to the other ones, but it was exactly the same in appearance. It moved exactly the same way. It was goofy too. It
What
was
in the world
cute
are
as
we
well.
talking about?
I'm telling you what happened. And so in the midst,
This was
Happened
when
to
you
what?
refused to nut
I'm almost
in your
done.
brother's widow.
I'm almost done.
This
And
happened
so
when you refused to nut in your brother's widow.
and so when I
Could you just get
saw,
to the part where you come?
I'm going to tell you. So when I saw
No
these
further
kittens,
suggestions.
that last kitten was trying to keep up with the first 3, the little teeny one, and I saw a large big boot come down and smash that little teeny kitten as if it were an ant. And the other ones kept going. And so I then understood that your seed is alive and your seed is your children. Even though it's much smaller, you can't see it on a level that you don't see, it's still one of your children.
No, that's literally not
You're
how
saying
biology works.
jizz is your kids.
You've nailed it on the head.
That's not how biology works.
Well, you'll have to speak to God about it because that's what he showed me, sir.
Are you sinning?
Talk
Is
to
a
God,
wet dream
jizz.
a
I'm
sin?
saying that
Talk to
every
God.
time that fluid that you do whatever you do with goes
Oh
wherever
my
it goes.
goodness, this is crazy. Sorry, got her just a second.
Is a-
Seeker, who was that? Seeker of the, what was that saying? Seeker of the way. Are you there?
Hi, how are you?
Is a wet dream a sin?
I think it is. Anyways, Seeker, are you over 18 and are you a believer?
Yes, I'm over 18.
Okay, cool. Which one of these do you want to address up here? If you're a believer
A believer in what? In God?
in Christianity or BHI?
BHI. What does BHI stand for?
If you don't know, you're probably not one, so it don't matter.
Oh, I'm not very good at the acronyms. But yeah,
Are
I
you a Christian?
mean the I'm a follower of the way before they named them Christians.
What way?
I'm following the teachings of Jesus.
Okay, fair enough. So which one of these topics up here you want to talk about today?
You said Jesus didn't actually fulfill a single prophecy and his yes. What do you mean? What prophecy has he not done?
He hasn't fulfilled any of the prophecies from the Old Testament.
Apostate, can I say my farewells real quick? Just want to say thanks for having me up. And hey, if you're not destroyed, it's not too late to come back. You guys have a good one.
Thanks.
I don't see Jesus. Jesus to me is not a god. He's a great prophet, a great person, a messenger, to be able to get people to see in their mind that everything that is mind is an illusion that we have constructed for ourselves and what we believe and identify as.
Okay, well, that he doesn't fulfill any of the prophecies, though. He's not a Messiah.
He doesn't fulfill the prophecies. What prophecy has he not fulfilled?
Not a single one. Zero, zilch.
As in what? Give me an example.
As in the virgin birth of a Messiah. You ever heard of that one?
No, tell me.
You've never heard of the virgin birth of a Messiah?
The virgin birth, you mean Mary?
Yeah.
So you think Mary wasn't a virgin?
Obviously not,
Why?
because she was pregnant.
You believe that it must be from a man. And she lied about it.
If you think he was a prophet, do you also not think he had a natural human birth?
It's not for me. I just wanted to see where you guys are at. So
But we're talking about
based
your
upon
view.
your assumptions, you guys have now concluded in your mind that you have constructed for yourself that it must not be true.
What?
Your mind
It must not be true because it
mind
can't
is
be. It
constructed.
defies all reality, and not to mention, there's not even a prophecy about the virgin birth of a Messiah in the Hebrew Bible. So
Well, like,
you got several big problems.
If you don't think he's a god, how was he born?
Yeah, I didn't say he was a god.
Right. If you don't think he's a god or a demigod, then how did he come to be?
He came through his mother.
Just
Exactly.
his mother alone. There's no.
The
there was no
thing I
sperm
find
donor?
is that everyone is always hanged up on the signs and the miracles and did they move water? Did he do that? The
What?
question to me is the message, the core message of what Jesus is trying to convey.
Yeah, that's fine. His message wasn't that great. Did you?
What was his
So
message?
that you should bring the people who didn't want him to rule over them before him and slaughter them in his presence.
No. What was the message, man?
I just told you.
Okay, say it again then.
You should bring those who don't want him to rule over them before him and slaughter them.
Who was that?
Who was what?
Jesus.
Jesus says slaughter them.
Yeah.
Where did he say that?
Luke 19.
Luke 19.
Yeah.
Okay, let's bring it up.
It's in verse 27.
So Jesus said we must slaughter them. Luke 19.
Yeah.
Yeah, when he comes back, you're to slaughter them.
Okay. Which verse?
The verse specifically
27.
is 27, but the parable starts at 11.
27. I tell you that everyone has more will be given, but as for the one who has nothing, even that they will be taken away. But those enemies of mine who did not want me to be king over them, bring them here and kill them in front of me.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Great message.
So Luke, and who was he talking to at the time?
His
He's
disciples.
talking to the disciples.
And then what else?
What do you mean, what else?
What else is he saying as well, apart from this?
He said that the only valid reason for divorce is was it sexual immorality, right? So like essentially like if you're getting, the shit kicked out of you by your husband, that's not a valid reason for divorce. If you're being like emotionally abused or any kind of abuse is not a legitimate reason for divorce. It's only sexual immorality. I think
Which verse?
that's a pretty shitty message. I want to say that's like Matthew,
Matthew
5 or
5.
6. Yeah.
I think it's 31 and 32.
Yeah. So it was also said, whoever divorces his wife, let him give her a certificate of divorce. But I say to you that anyone who divorces his wife, except on the ground of sexual immorality, causes her to commit adultery, and whoever marries a divorced woman commits adultery.
Yeah, I know that one. That one is about you made an oath between each other. So
Yeah.
basically, it's you're both causing adultery to each other, the man and the woman.
Right. So if a husband is beating his wife, she has no recourse.
Well, and he says beating his wife.
No, it says anything except for sexual immorality. All right. So for whatever other reason beyond sexual immorality you would have for getting divorced, he says that's invalid. You're committing adultery now.
No, why would you beat someone you love?
You wouldn't.
I don't
Maybe
understand
that's
that.
why.
No, he's saying that you can't get divorced for that, or else you're committing adultery.
Which the penalty for is death.
The Luke one, right? That's interesting to me. I don't know who he.
Yeah, it's interesting to me too. He thinks he's about to fulfill a prophecy about being king of the world, and he just happens to tell a prophecy or a parable about people not accepting his rulership, being slaughtered in his presence. And then the very next verse, he hops on a donkey and they're calling him blessed is the king. So they're literally calling him a king in the next verse. Of course, he just ends up crying and blaming them he's not a king. But either way, it's about what he thinks. Like before he tells the parable, the very first verse, and it says, as they were listening to this, he went on to tell the parable, because he was near Jerusalem, and because they supposed that the kingdom of God was to appear immediately. So Jesus thought he was about to fulfill a prophecy literally immediately upon hopping on that donkey. They start calling him king, but instead of actually being a king, they just tell him to tell the disciples to shut up, and Jesus just ends up crying and blaming them it don't happen. In verse 41 and 42.
Oh, and the same passage in Luke.
Yeah, he says, if these enemies of mine will not accept my rule over them, bring them here and slaughter them in my presence. And then in the very next little passage here, he hops on a donkey and fulfills a prophecy about being a king. So he's like telling a parable basically about himself. He thinks he's about to be that king, the ruler. But as it so happens in 41 and 42, he just ends up crying and blaming the people that he didn't get to be his king.
Hey, I gotta jump. It's good hanging with you.
Have a good one, Mac.
All right, see you.
Thanks, buddy. Oops. Yeah, go ahead, Saker. Sorry about that.
So this is a parable of a story he's telling.
The part above the king part was the parable of
Jesus
the 10
comes to
pounds.
Jerusalem as a king.
Do I know?
So that will be Luke 19:28.
Yeah.
So the one before then, it was a parable. He was telling a story.
Yeah, about a ruler going off and accepting this new rulership, right? And he says when he comes back, he tells them if they won't accept his rule, to bring them here and slaughter them in my presence. And then in the very next verse, Jesus is fulfilling a prophecy about being king of the world. He's accepting his rulership by fulfilling a prophecy about being a king, at least in his mind. But then in verses 41 and 42, it obviously didn't happen. Like he ends up just crying and blaming the people that they didn't recognize their visitation from God. It's almost like they just saw the dude on the donkey and they was like, this guy's supposed to be a king. Like, no. Do what?
He's also Jesus isn't proclaimed to be God. But
well, no, but he's fulfilling a prophecy here. Well, he actually don't fulfill the prophecy, but in his mind, he thinks he's fulfilling this prophecy. And so do the disciples. Unfortunately, nobody else thinks that. Like in verse 38, they're calling him the king. They're saying, blessed is the king who comes in the name of the Lord. Peace in heaven and glory in the highest heaven.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying. This is obvious. Jesus thinks he's fulfilling a prophecy about being a king.
I tell you, he replied, if they keep quiet, the stones will cry out. As he approached Jerusalem and saw the city, he wept over it and said, if you, even you, had only known on this day what would bring you peace, but now it is hidden from your eyes. The days will come upon you when your enemies will build an embankment against you and encircle you and hem you in every side. They will dash you in the ground, you and your children within your walls. They will not leave one stone on another, because you did not recognize the time of God's coming to you.
Yep. He's blaming them that this prophecy did not come true. And cursing them at the same time.
Interesting how you see it.
I mean, that's what it says. Like the prophecy about riding the donkey is from Zechariah 9:9. The prophecy says a king is going to come to you humble and victorious, riding on a donkey, on a colt, the foal of a donkey. It says he's going to cut off the war horse from Jerusalem, which means he's going to end all war in Jerusalem. And it says he's going to command peace to the nations, and his empire will be from the river to the sea to the ends of the earth.
Mhm.
So it's literally fulfilling a prophecy about being the king of the whole world and commanding peace to the nations. But here, obviously, in verse 41 and 42, it says Jesus wept over it, saying, "You did not recognize what makes for peace." So he's blaming them that this prophecy about the king of peace didn't happen. So he doesn't fulfill this prophecy, that's for sure. It's actually just kind of sad.
Luke, the book of Luke. This is something that you got to read the whole parable, and then you have to look at the thing. But from what you're saying, with the way you see it, you're saying that he's fulfilling Jesus thinks is fulfilling the prophecy, but you feel that he's not fulfilling that prophecy, and he's upset that.
Well, he obviously don't fulfill it. If he did fulfill the prophecy in question, there would have been worldwide peace. There would have never been war in Jerusalem again, had this prophecy been fulfilled, because that's what the prophecy in Zechariah 9 is about.
Zechariah 9. Okay, let's go there. Go to Zechariah 9.
Yeah. It says, "Rejoice greatly, O daughter Zion. Shout aloud, O daughter Jerusalem. See, your king comes to you." So we're talking about a king coming to you. "Triumphant and victorious is he, humble and riding a donkey, on a colt, the foal of a donkey. He will cut off the chariot from Ephraim and the war horse from Jerusalem, and the battle bow shall be cut off, and he shall command peace to the nations. His dominion shall be from the sea to sea, and from the river to the ends of the earth." So to fulfill this prophecy, you have to be a literal king, and you have to end all war in Jerusalem, and you have to command peace to the nations from the river to the sea to the ends of the earth. That clearly
that should have happened when the moment he rode in as a on a donkey.
Absolutely. And Jesus thought it was going to happen the second he rode in on a donkey, because when he tells the parable, the first verse in it says, "As they were listening to this, he went on to tell a parable, because he was near Jerusalem, and because they supposed that the kingdom of God was to appear immediately." Like, that's verbatim. That's exactly what it says. Jesus thought this was going to happen immediately when he rode that donkey into Jerusalem, because he thought he was this king on the donkey. But he clearly wasn't, because he ends up crying and blaming them that they didn't recognize the things that make for peace. So, prophecy unfulfilled in devastating fashion.
And you said Zechariah 9, judgment of Israel enemies. The judgment on Israel's enemies. And do you have the verse in there? Which one verse? You want me to read the whole thing?
It's verse 9 and 10. Well, it's those part. There's more to the prophecy. But, I mean, it's just going to get even further from Jesus. Yeah, like another part of the prophecy.
So you think that the prophecy should happen the moment that he came in? They should instantly. You don't think it's a process?
Yeah, even Jesus said that. He said they supposed that the kingdom of God was to appear immediately. Immediately means right now.
Immediately.
But like I said, why wouldn't you think? I mean, he says when this donkey gets ridden into Jerusalem, like why would the prophecy say this king's going to come to you on a donkey, and then 2,000 years later there's going to be peace in Jerusalem? Like that makes no sense, man. But like this just can't be about Jesus. It says, "I have bent Judah as my bow, I have made Ephraim its arrow. I will rouse your sons, O Zion, against your sons, O Greece, and wield you like a warrior's sword." But Jesus was never a warrior. He never fought anybody. It says, "Then will appear over them then the Lord will appear over them, and his arrow will go forth like lightning. The Lord God will sound the trumpet and march forth in the whirlwinds of the south. The Lord of hosts will protect them, and they shall conquer and consume the slingers. And they shall drink their blood like wine, and be full like a bowl, drenched like the corners of an altar. So, I mean, this is just getting further and further from Jesus the more you read. But he doesn't even do the first part, the command and peace to the nations. That's the most important part. But you also have to be wielded like a warrior son against Greece and conquer and consume the slingers, which was a military unit, and drank their blood. So, if Jesus did that, I don't think so. But yeah, either way, we're talking about a king riding a donkey. That's what this prophecy is about. And in Luke 19, Jesus tells this cute little parable about slaughtering people and then immediately gets on a donkey and rides it into Jerusalem. Unfortunately, no peace to the nations or anything else. Literally, the only thing he did in that prophecy was ride a donkey. Which, unfortunately for Jesus, there's a little more to it than that. But it's actually even kind of worse. If you go to this prophecy where Matthew tells it, Matthew straight up says this prophecy is fulfilled. So I don't know what Matthew was reading, but it clearly wasn't fulfilled.
Because the thing is, in the Zechariah, I'm reading what you're saying about the prophecy from Zechariah, and the urgency of happening right there and then, but it didn't happen. So that's where you are. That's where you are sitting on right now, and you're like, well, he came in, but nothing happened, and now Jesus is upset that they did not respond.
Yeah, obviously nothing happened.
What the prophecy says.
Yeah, I mean, clearly Jesus did not fulfill this prophecy, which is a pretty important one in the Old Testament. It's kind of the whole point, actually, of the Old Testament was that God commands peace to the entire world. But it happens after Babylon in the Old Testament, not when Jesus comes. Happens after the exile. That's why I always say the New Testament don't have a clue what it's talking about when it comes to the Old Testament. They get it all wrong.
Why am I looking at Matthew? Matthew. Hold on.
Matthew's version of it's in Matthew 21.
Yeah.
And it just says Jesus fulfills it by riding the donkey into Jerusalem and then goes straight to Jesus cleansing the temple. It don't say anything about the rejection or Jesus being mad. Where in Luke it clearly doesn't happen. Like Luke's almost describing, like kind of giving you a reason that it don't happen. Where Matthew is straight up saying this is a fulfilled prophecy. Which my patootie, it's fulfilled.
Because you got Matthew's one and Luke's one. Because I read mainly on the Matthew one. As they approached Jerusalem and they came to Bethphage and Mount of Olives. Yeah, I've read this.
Yeah, Matthew even says Jesus rides 2 donkeys, which is the greatest miracle of the Bible here is how Jesus rode 2 donkeys at the same time. It's pretty funny. Matthew's the biggest goof in the whole Bible.
He rides 2 donkeys.
Yeah.
He says riding on a donkey.
No. In Matthew, it says the disciples went and did as Jesus directed them. They brought the donkey and the colt, and they put their cloaks on them, and he sat on them. There's 2 of them in Matthew, which is hilarious.
For Jesus to sit on.
Yeah. There's a donkey and a colt. So Matthew can't even read the actual prophecy. It says the king is going to be on a donkey, the colt, the foal of a donkey. How do I get a damn restriction for that? You got to be kidding me. Anyway, Matthew read that as there's a donkey and a colt, and not on the colt, the foal of a donkey. So Matthew's pretty dumb for several reasons here.
Yeah, it's a contradiction here, right?
Yeah. The double donkey. The ride of the double donkey, yeah. But like in a nutshell, man, they're all like this. Literally every prophecy that the New Testament is saying Jesus fulfilled is just like this one. Contextually, they just don't happen, and it just seems patently like the New Testament just don't even know what it's talking about. Like, for example, in Matthew chapter 2, he says that a prophecy is being fulfilled from Jeremiah 31 about the massacre of the infants in and around Bethlehem. But if you just go read Jeremiah 31, it don't have nothing to do with infants being massacred in Bethlehem. It has nothing to do with infants being massacred. It's about the joyful return of the exiles to Zion. If you just read Jeremiah. So where the hell is Matthew getting that this is a prophecy about infanticide? Like, I mean, that's just ridiculous. But they're all like this, every single one of them. Which is kind of a bad joke if you really think about it.
So where do you stand in God, the creator, the source?
What do you mean?
Where do you stand in source? The God, source.
Well, I think he's bogus too, because not only is the New Testament making up shit about the Old Testament, but the Old Testament doesn't fulfill itself either. These prophecies fail too. And they're even plainer than the other ones, really.
Hey, Paul,
I'll give you an example.
Is because of these stories and the contradiction that you see, have you abandoned the source, the one that gives all life?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Yeah, this is clearly bogus.
You've also given up on that.
I don't know
as well.
why anybody wouldn't abandon this after just reading it. I mean, it's pretty bad.
So you abandon the idea of God.
Yeah, all these prophecies fail. Like, I don't see any reason to be a Christian because the New Testament is clearly just lying about Jesus. And I don't see any reason to be a Hebrew or Jewish either because the Old Testament don't get it right either. All these prophecies fail. There's no reason to believe any of this. That's why.
So the minds, the people of these minds that see, I say, God spoke to me, so on and so forth, because they are fallen or there's contradictions. It means there is no God.
It means this God's clearly bogus and people are just making shit up. I don't see why you would believe what they're saying. You know what I mean?
Okay, but what about just source, life source, God, what we call and identify as God, the creator?
I mean, if you just believe in a general God, I mean, that's one thing, but believing in this God is completely different because there's some serious issues with this God. So it depends on which kind of God you're talking about. The God of the Bible or just a general God in general?
Okay, let's talk general God.
What about it?
Do you still have that faith? There's a source. Maybe we not get it right in the ways of our mind. No, I'm an atheist. An agnostic atheist, or an atheist that does not have no.
I'm a Gnostic atheist. I'll go as far as to say I know there's no gods.
Interesting. Yes. Do you think people misguide others on their conception of what they think God is?
Sure. I would say anybody who thinks there's a God is misguiding anybody else about God if they're trying to convince them it's true. And if you call that misguiding them.
Do you think God is just it's just the thing that it's just there, that sustains life? There's no really.
I don't think God's anything. I think gods are completely imaginary. When it comes right down to it.
I mean, beyond the name, Ape, beyond the doctrines. I'm talking about just the thing that sustains. You say you're Gnostic, so that means there must be something that, because you can't prove it, does not mean it's not there.
No, I'm saying Gnostic atheist means you know there is no gods.
Oh, not agnostic.
Yeah, agnostic means you're kind of unsure, like you'll leave some wiggle room there. Agnostic would be more like just rejecting the claims of God. But I go as far as to say I know they're not real.
So you're Gnostic, there's just no God.
Yeah. And I know that.
And you know that. You come from
Yeah.
a place of knowing. How do you know?
Yeah. Because the same way that I know that Superman or the Tooth Fairy or cave trolls didn't create a universe, I also know that the magical sky wizard didn't do it either. It's just a figment of people's imaginations. Nobody can demonstrate anything about a god, ever. In the entire history of humans, not a single fact
What sustains
can be
life?
added to God. So I think I'm well within my rights to assume that people just made the shit up. And I do not take the philosophical position that anything is possible, because anything is not possible. I can't just start flapping my arms and fly off like it's never going to happen.
You
That's impossible.
exist.
Yeah, so
That's impossible.
it's not impossible. My parents fucked, and then I was born as a result.
You know, I'm talking about humankind.
Cellular
Everything
biology,
around
man.
us exists.
Cellular biology and organisms having offspring is a natural occurrence. It's going to happen whether there's a god or not.
It's
So
just here.
that's why I'm saying, like,
It's just
there's just
here.
no facts that indicate a god in being involved in anything at any time.
So the
anywhere.
things
There's
that we
always,
observe is not a fact.
you can observe things as a fact, but show me a fact about God.
The very existence that we are here.
No, I'm here because my parents had sex. That happened independent of a god.
Beyond that, I'm talking about the existence of the very thing that this earth is here, the very existence that the stars are here.
That can all happen naturally, and it's explained by natural
You have to
means,
prove-
like accretion
that's
disk
what I'm-
theory. That's how planets form. Like, we already know that. You don't need God. That's what I'm saying. Everything we've ever discovered about nature had a natural explanation. There's not a single fact anywhere that indicates gods or anything other than figments of people's imaginations. And that's why I'm saying I know for a fact figments of imaginations don't create universes. So I mean, that's where I'm at.
At the moment.
Yeah. Unless you can give me a fact that backs up the existence of a god. I mean, show me that they're anything other than figments of people's imaginations.
I mean, for me, is I know we give birth to the living, but what gives life?
What do you mean, what gives life? Life comes about naturally. I mean, it's even been proven, like inorganic material naturally self-assembles into organic material, like amino acids.
There's
So they're all
something
over
that
the
is
universe.
seen or diagnosed as not alive brings forth life.
Yeah. It's like
And that
atoms,
is-
like, you know, the flakes on your skin, it just flakes off and goes. It's dead. But it was alive, but it's dead now.
But
So,
then the
like,
dead brings
living
back life.
material is made up of unliving material.
Yeah, but the thing brings back life.
Huh?
You said the thing sheds off. Like you said, about give me an example, rough example.
Yeah,
Sheds off.
like my
And
hand's alive right now, but if I sever it from my body and throw it to the side, it's dead then.
But then
It
you're
has
saying
detached from the living part and become unliving itself, even though these were previously just living just a second ago.
okay, let's go with that. So the thing that is detached of the living is just dead. There's no way for it from the dead to come to bring forth life.
No, you can't bring a rotten hand back to life and reattach it.
Yes. So then, but you said earlier something that's not constructed, that's got no life, brings life.
Yeah. Inorganic material
What is it?
forms organic materials. Organic
What is
materials
it?
form the building blocks of life.
There's a gap in your
Like
logic.
the elements in our body. We're made of all the things in the earth. We're made of iron and
Yeah, I
stuff.
agree. I agree. But you
Yeah.
said something profound. You said if I cut my hand off and I chuck it to one side, it will not bring anything. You will not bring anything, right? No life from
Right.
that. However,
Right.
However, you've also said that something that has no life Well, you said that all these organs has no life. They come together to bring forth life.
Yeah.
There's a gap.
Yeah, you need the whole to get the organism.
You need a whole to get an organism.
Yeah, you need all the elements put together, and that forms an organism or a life or a cell or whatever you want to call it. Like, I can pour out a vial of blood right now. Like, the blood isn't alive, but the blood is in me, and it keeps me alive.
So
that's what I mean.
Okay. So there's these things, or not organism, because they're not alive. These building blocks are just floating around, and then they come together, and that thing makes a reaction of life.
Yeah. Pretty much.
So something that brings it together from dead, it somehow is attracted to each other. Then that thing then brings forth life.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like, we know that the building, like, organic materials arise naturally all over the universe. We found them on asteroids. So really all you need is for those organic materials to be on a place like Earth. That is the perfect distance between the sun. The temperature's just right. There's water. I mean, it's almost inevitable that life is going to emerge from that. You know what I mean? You're putting all the ingredients in the oven and baking the cake, and then life pops out. That's just how it goes. No magic required.
No magic. No wonder.
Yeah.
Something that is here, it puts into a certain environment, comes together. It pushes itself together, even though it's not alive. And then, poof, we have life.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah, you don't need any magic at all. Which kind of makes sense, you know. That's why we have the diversity of life that we have on this planet. There's life in the deepest oceans that we haven't even scratched the surface of understanding yet. There's one of the deepest holes they ever drilled in the earth in Russia. They were finding life that was like 5 miles below the surface. Like, there's cellular life down there. Like, it just goes to show you that these building blocks of life are everywhere. So when you got somewhere like Earth, they just pop up all over the damn place. It's everywhere. Like, it's in every crevice of this planet.
So explain to me why we're the only one of the only, maybe the only creatures that is born, and we have a higher sense of awareness.
Because we got a bigger brain.
We got a bigger brain.
Yeah.
Then all the bigger brains than that's the idea. We just have a bigger brain. We have more capacity.
Yeah.
The whole subconscious and conscious.
Humans have the most complicated neurological pathways of any other organism. Not to say that size is necessarily indicative of intelligence and abstract thought, but humans definitely have the most complicated neurological function of any other organism that we know of on the planet. So it results in abstract thought, which is not even technically unique to just humans. I mean, there's thousands of other species that show like morality and stuff like that. In other social species anyway. Like elephants, like they mourn their dead, they come back yearly to visit their graves and stuff like that. Like, they're doing the same thing we are.
But their awareness is not as large as ours.
It doesn't seem like it, but then again, we can't communicate directly with an elephant, so we don't know. They may not just be able to show it in the same way we show it, but they might be having the same or even higher functions than we are. They just can't express it through a language like we do with each other.
And so okay.
That's what I'm saying.
And that's
Like,
where
you can
and that's
explain pretty
where
much anything naturally. Like, you don't necessarily need a God to explain all this stuff, especially in 2026. We're pretty
yes.
far along in our understandings of the universe, if you care to look. It's just complicated matters, so it's a lot easier to say, "Hey, it was magic, God, poof, we're here," other than dive into the extremely complicated measures of evolution and abiogenesis and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Yeah. I mean, you've definitely constructed your mind to what you're seeing.
I'm just calling it like I see it, yeah. And what I see is the Bible telling a whole bunch of lies and nonsense about reality. And actual science seems to be getting all the facts and data right, or at least putting them together in a way better sense than the Bible is. Because I'm not too sure that two men threw down sticks that turned into snakes and fought each other. It just doesn't seem like it really adds up.
Talk to snakes, did you say?
Well, there was two guys that threw down their sticks. They both had sticks, and they threw them down, and the sticks turned into snakes, and they fought each other.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm calling bullshit on that one.
Like dropping a stick and it turned into a snake.
Yeah, well, two different guys.
I've ever seen a snake.
I've ever seen sticks.
I've ever seen a snake talk.
No.
It's a
They're
lie,
not
right?
even capable of talking. They don't have, yeah, of course. Yeah, they don't have vocal cords. They're not capable of talking.
Mm-hmm.
Neither is
A
donkeys.
snake can barely see or hear, right?
Well, it depends. Some of them might have a little bit better hearing and vision than others, but they certainly can't talk, that's for sure. And a serpent certainly didn't derail an all-knowing and all-powerful God's plans. That's just pretty absurd.
And then donkeys don't talk, do they?
No, they don't.
Well, they don't talk in our language. Let's change it. They don't talk in our language.
They don't talk in any language. They don't have a language.
What should I say? They don't communicate. Is that a better way to say it?
They might communicate.
Every animal, insect,
not with language and talking. Yeah. Communicating is one thing. Talking with language is different. That's a way of communication. But I mean, I can communicate with you with hand signals.
Yeah, that's what I said. Communication. Maybe the better word is rather than talking.
I could say they could bay and communicate that they're might be a wolf on the horizon or something, telling everybody else to run.
Mm.
So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah. Well, I will talk more. Come in, I'll listen more to what you're saying. I'll look at what you've shown me, and
cool, man.
we'll discuss more.
Yeah, that'll work.
Yeah.
Yeah, just read the Bible, man. You'll be an atheist before you know it.
An atheist. I don't. I think there is more to the story than what meets the eye.
Maybe there is.
Sometimes.
Maybe there's not, though.
Sometimes we search for what we try to find God from what is outside. Then we forget to look.
Yeah, sometimes we're just trying to see God when God's clearly not there. Like for example, I mean, we don't need Zeus to explain lightning anymore, where lightning comes from. Like, we know exactly what lightning is. So
we've identified
it's pretty silly to say Zeus made it.
We've identified it. We've identified the lightning, and then it lost all its wonder.
Pretty much. Well, I don't think it lost its wonder. It became even cooler once you actually understand what it is. But before
You
people
think
knew what
so?
it was, they just explained it by saying, "Hey, Zeus was pissed off at us again." I guess the temple virgins were promiscuous. That's yeah. It seemed to be Rome's answer to everything. Disaster
Uh,
happens on the frontier. Their army loses a battle, and they're like, "Damn, these temple virgins fucked up again." So they
do
unalive a
you
temple
think?
virgin, and obviously that
Do
didn't
you,
fix anything.
Abe, do you think it's possible for the more knowledge we gain, the further we are blinded from seeing or knowing God?
Well, I don't know if I'd call it blinded, but you just better understanding is what I would say
Better understanding of the
personally.
environment that we're in,
Yeah,
not from where we came from.
and where we came from, both.
Mm.
Man, these are fields of study we can learn a lot about, and we know a lot about them. It's not even mysteries, man. Like when it comes to abiogenesis, like we know, just for example, say there's 7 steps of creating life in nature. We know 5 of those 7. There just might not be a few that has been confirmed or whatever. But we know
Seven
a good bit about it.
steps. Interesting. 7
Yeah,
steps.
yeah, it's just an example. You know what I mean?
No, I keep hearing these 7. But the so what will happen when you know the story of the fallen angel, Bilal, or the ones that have in many of their stories. The idea he was the closest to God, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is how the story goes. He knew everything, and then he decided that he wants to be the God,
Is that
right?
what happened?
Well, that's how the story goes. He fell and he fallen from heaven or whatnot into the story. And always wondered, how can something so close to God, knows everything, gets to know and identify God, but yet turns their back on God?
Yeah, sounds like BS. I can smell it too.
Hmm.
Not to mention, Jesus says Satan was a liar and murderer from the beginning. So, I mean, literally, the second God creates the devil, he's this liar and murderer. Sounds like he just made him that way, is what it seems like.
It goes back to what I said earlier. The further we know and move and get to know things, and we get to see the things that we're observing and the stars beyond the stars or whatnot. Do you not think that is a possibility? The further we get to know, the further we fall away from God.
Yeah,
Just
I
like
mean, yeah.
just like the story is trying to convey here.
Yeah, man, if you're using God to explain how life got on this planet, when you understand how life got on this planet, you don't need God anymore. So, yeah, that would naturally move you further away from God if that's the way you're looking at it.
Hmm. I just want us to
Because you
ponder
don't
on
need
that
God
for
to
a bit.
explain it.
You don't need God.
Yeah, man, we know how planets form in solar systems. It's accretion disk theory. So, man, we don't need God to explain how planets got here in solar systems. It's
Hey,
perfectly well
are
known.
you a father by any chance? Are you a father?
Oh, what?
Are you a father?
Yeah, yeah.
Mm. Remember how our children cling on to us as they are younger, and as they become more and more knowledgeable about the world. Do you feel that you no longer needed? You're no longer needed.
Yeah, they might still need you, but not to like survive necessarily.
Why
But
would they
that's the whole
need you?
point of having kids is
They've
you
already,
teach them
they've
how to
already,
survive on their own, so you don't have to raise them their whole
but
life.
they've already figured out everything about you and
Yeah,
what you did. Why do they need you anymore?
well, they don't.
Why don't they just dash you away and put you into a nursing home and forget about you?
They do sometimes.
Humans, huh?
Yeah, that
And
happens all
would
the
you?
time.
Yeah. So is that something that you wouldn't mind them doing to you?
I would prefer they didn't, but the reality is they might.
Wow. Doesn't that hurt you?
I mean, it's not great. No. Not thrilled about it. Then again, it hadn't happened yet, so I don't know.
Have you done it to your
But anyway,
parents?
I'm gonna have to jump off, man. I actually got to get to
Wait,
the old
okay,
work
before
schedule
you head
now.
off, have you done it to your parents?
No, my parents take care of themselves still.
I know they take care of themselves and you can take care of yourself. But
Yeah,
have you reached out to them? Or do you just leave it and that's it, done, finish?
yeah. I still talk to my parents. So.
Ah, is that all we need our parents for? To learn the tools of
I don't know.
survivability.
Well, you need somebody to raise you, yeah. Because as a child, you will die without someone to take care of you.
And then once you figured out how to do that, you no longer need them anymore.
Pretty much. But anyway, I gotta run home,
All
man.
right,
I
then, brother.
appreciate you coming up and talking.
Take care.
But yeah, back at you, man. Come back sometime. All right. So I've got to run on now. Oh, I had a restriction, but apparently, well, I saw the restriction, but I didn't know it was temporary, but it ended, so that's cool. Anyway, I got to run on and do the work stuff now. I appreciate everybody. Much love to all. Thanks for coming in. It was a good show today. We had some good conversations. So always interesting, huh? Anyway, much love, everybody. We will catch you all on the morrow, where I will be back. I think Mezzo's live. Let's go throw Mezzo a parade there. Peace out, everybody.